Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depend where you are domiciled in this world. My warming greetings to you as I greet my people of the citizens of United States of Biafra. Why do I greet them? Because I am here because of people of the citizen of United States of Biafra that was redeclared on November 29, 2024. That is why we are here. We want all Biafrans, those from old Eastern region, where they use divide and rule and call us this time around. They say that this is Southeast. My program or my message is for anyone who feel that he is coming from that Southeast or that old Eastern region that fought Biafran War in 1967 to 1970. My message is for you. One of the message I have for you is to ask you, do you really know what caused the war and what lead to Ojukwu to defend or declare Republic of Biafra? That is my number one question. If you know exactly what happened and why Ojukwu redeclare Biafra as a nation, I want you to check if the same thing is happening today. And is it because of that is why Ojukwu declared the Republic of Biafra? Remember the massacre in the north, the genocide that started before the 1914 amalgamation was one of the first reasons that made Ojukwu to redeclare Biafra in 1967 to 1970. From that day to today, the question is, has the killing stopped? Is it genocide in the territory of Nigeria today? And why did US declare Nigeria a country of particular concern? Why did America declare Nigeria a country of particular concern? These are the questions that call for answer that any of us need to look into it today. And also ask yourself, Nigeria, is it working for you? Nigeria, is it working for you? If Nigeria is not working for you, what is the solution? And also, what is that thing that leads to the declaration of the Christian country with the name United States of Biafra that Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu redeclared in 1967 to 1970? After we have lost the war, those things that made him to redeclare, to issue the declaration of this lost country, My humble question to you is, those things, is it happening in this 21st century that we are into? And what are the reasons that made Chukwuemeka deem Ojukwu to issue the Declaration of Republic of Biafra in 1967 to 1970? And the trajectory that he declared, what is happening in that trajectory today? After the war, those military they send down to our territory you see in every checking point, have they left? Also, as those militaries are there, is it anything like killings that is going on, or abduction, or abuse of rights that is going on? If you are coming from old Eastern region, where British divide us with divide and rule and call it towards Southeast, I'm asking you, if you are traveling from Lagos State coming back to old Eastern region, which is Southeast, when you come down to once you enter Southeast, do you ever come down from bus and use your leg to walk on the road? Have you ever experienced coming down from the bus and use your leg to walk on the road? And I want you to tell me sincerely, in which how many countries in this world did such a thing that you are experiencing whenever you touch down to this territory or this particular side of where they call in the new world of division Southeast? Have you ever come down from the bus to pass any checking point up to trekking for 2 minutes? And I ask you, in which country that you have ever experienced such a thing in the entire world? Please tell me on the comment section if you have experienced such a thing from any part of any country in this world. Secondly, they have decided that no Igbo man should ever rule that enclave called Nigeria. And those who ruled that enclave was ruled by mistake. And now, because of the agenda to Islamize all of us, was the core reason why they are doing what they are doing today. That is why I sincerely ask you this humble question. Nigeria, is it working for you? Nigeria, is it your own country? And if Nigeria is your own country, who and who signed that your name should be a Nigeria? Let's look at Ghana. The name that British give to Ghana, have they changed it to today to come to this is our own country, not the one that was being given to us by any white man? That is my question to you. Then I also urge you, before we proceed, as you join us, please like and share. If you're on TikTok, follow us for more information and more updates based on international law, the only way we can achieve this our lost country. On today's program, we are looking at how we can restore a lost nation like Republic of Biafra that we lost totally 1970, and we reintegrated back into Nigeria. Then I am asking you again, things that is happening to Nigeria, do you think that is normal? And this is how it's happening in any other countries in the world. So please, if you know any country that what is happening in Nigeria is happening today, please, I urge you to do what? Please, to put it in the comment section so we can ask about that country to understand what is going on there. Is it the same thing that is going on in Nigeria? So I urge you to find out as you join me. So, but I want you to understand it clearly that there is a way to regain a lost country. There is absolutely a right channel to regain a lost country. Yeah, Shioma, I see you. The Greg, Onyenwolo na S-Space, I see you. Thank you. Shioma said, hashtag, Shioma is following me on YouTube. Wow. Hashtag, I am a citizen of the United States of Biafra. Hashtag, Nigeria must go because USB is now a sovereign nation. So I urge you, if you are just joining us, please hit like the program and follow us. Also share it. We are here not for fun, but we are here to pass a message to the world, to look at what is happening in Nigeria today. That is why the Republic of Biafra that was redeclared that was 1967 to 1970. And after we have lost the war, we turn back in this 21st century to do what? So to redeclare it back. Because it is well understand that the only way to restore a lost nation is what US declared is on it right now. That is why it is very important that we bring this message to you and you listen to the message to understand why only United States of Biafra declared by Chief of Staff, DPM, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the only legal way for recognition to restore this lost country back. The only way is what? One, the transition to government in exile. Two, the official issue of redeclaration of this lost country is the second and the fundamental right, how to return this lost country back. We are going to go to the process of how the law give us back up to restore our lost nation back. It is very imperative that every Biafrans, that once you are coming from old eastern region, once you are coming from southeast, I want you to understand that only what will save you is to accept United States of Biafra. And also, I want you to remember that we are filling our form of our birth certificate of proving that you are a Biafran. So please, those in the homeland, it is free for you to fill your birth certificate to prove that this is an insurance that you are a full citizen of United States of Biafra that was redeclared through the legal means of all the international law. That is why we are calling on you at this stage to understand that this is the only way that we can quench the fire that is going on in Nigeria of the massacre of every indigenous people. Also, the same way we can help the whole Africa to bring them back to light. The world refused to accept Biafra because Biafra is the light of Africa, where you have the mineral resources they are taking today. The British Kingdom has laid pipe from all the way from Imo State, from Iguacha down to Morocco, as I'm talking to you, to take and also make our mineral resources that we use to build Africa. And also remember that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the president of redeclared nation, seeking for recognition, United States of Biafra, promised all the Africa that we are going to give them this oil free. Also, Simon Ekpa-Njoko, the Prime Minister, also make it openly to the world that we are going to give the oil free to the entire nation of Africa to build Africa to be a better country. That is why the British and their allies don't want Biafra to become a country. And that is why they massacred, and there is genocide that British and Nigeria committed a war crime in 1967 to 1970. The world is not saying anything about it because of what? They see us as color black. Once you are coming from Africa, the right of self-determination is not for you. You don't have right to talk. You must obey their decision. But the people of the citizens of United States of Biafra rallied around on November 20, 2024 to prove on the legal path that we want to have regained who we are. Because Biafra was exist for 3 years before British and Russia joined hands with Nigeria, with Egypt, trying to buy all of us, to wipe us away. But Chuko Kabiama, our God, our ancestor, says no, that we should never wipe away. That is why today we are talking about Biafra, that this is our country, because it is our right. We have redeemed who we are through our peaceful redeclaration of this our lost country. Please, I urge you to like the program, also to share. If you just join us, I want you to like and share the program. Shioma, I will accept in a due time, because that's how I run the program. After the analysis, then when you come back, then I will welcome you, because I really want to talk to you from the TikTok. Thank you so much for all you do. Please, I want you to like the program, also share the program, so we will understand what is happening. Yes, what is happening in Nigeria today also, I turn back. That's exactly what happened in Libya, or somehow still happening till today. But I want you to understand, we understand the situation, how to come out of it. That is why we issue a peaceful declaration that is only the legal path to achieve our nation. This is only the legal path to achieve our nation. It is very, very imperative that we understand this legal path. And this is only how the world will answer at this time around, because we have gone through war with Nigeria, that Nigeria brought war. Who started the war is who fired the first gunshot. Nigeria first fired in our territory. Until today, we have never fired back to them. So as we proceed with the program, I want you to share, like, and invite people to come and join us. Also, follow us on TikTok for us to continue pushing the message for the world to listen and understand that the silence of the world to refuse to recognize this Christian country is the only way that we will stop the impunity. But for them to be silent is the reason why you are seeing the massacre and the ongoing genocide of the indigenous people that are the citizens, who are these Christians that are being buying every blessed day. That is why we are asking the entire world to understand that we, as people of Biafra, that we have determined that the only way to end this is what? The solution or disintegration of Nigeria. Let us go back to the way we are before the 1914 amalgamation. And that is why we, the people of Biafra, has issued our peaceful redeclaration of our lost country. So please, as you join me before we proceed, I want you to like the program and share to anyone you like or anybody in your content. If you're on YouTube, please like, share, comment. If you're on TikTok, please like and share the program so other people may get the message clearly. It is very, very imperative that you understand that only sharing, and that is where you are doing more to this. Please share. I encourage you to do that. It's very important. This have become the 4 days of us coming to TikTok, because we want the whole world to get this message. and the world to understand that we are on the legal path. On YouTube, our headline remains United States of Biafra that was redeclared by Chief of Staff, Deputy DPM, the only legal way for recognition for us to be a full nation. That is why I also want to understand that it's only the only way we can achieve this country. The silence of the Christian nations in the world that need to understand that how to end the ongoing genocide, the ongoing kidnapping, the ongoing mass burial in Nigeria is by organizing the Christian country. For us to go back to the way we are before the amalgamation of 1914 by Fred Lugard and his girlfriend Flora Shaw is the only way we can have our life and we can protect all that believe that they deserve to live. That is why we pick up the legal path. No more armed struggle. That is why we pick up the legal path. No more armed struggle. And we have moved forward with all that we are doing. That is why we have a well-structured, functioning government, leading by the Deputy Prime Minister on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa-Njoku. And we have a legal document in our hand through our peaceful redeclaration. That is why we are calling the world that we have met all the criteria for us to become a full nation on our own. So we are calling the entire world to grant us recognition so we can be able to live like every other nation and protect our life. With Nigeria, there is no protection of our life. But with US redeclared, we have a full protection where the indigenous people will be in charge of the security outfit, where they are not going to rehabilitate the Boko Haram, the ICC, the Lokorawa, and all the killing squad in Nigeria back to the military for them to continue the agenda until all the Christian country understand that what is happening is agenda of Islamization. The world should really remember how Turkey become a Muslim country, how Iran became Muslim, Afghanistan, and name all of them is what is playing out in Nigeria because they want to accomplish the mission of the Osman Dan Fodio. That is why we are calling the entire world to quickly grant recognition. Everyone on the TikTok, I salute you. Those that are joining us, please, we welcome you to our hallowed platform. This is USB TV, USB Research TV. Please follow us for more information. Share our program. We are here for viral message to the world to understand what we are doing and where we are at this stage. That is why it is very, very imperative for us, for you, for me, for everyone to understand that it's only through US redeclared is how we are going to save our life. And I am here to prove to you all the laws that back up how we can restore our lost nation. There is how we can restore our lost nation. We lost Biafra. And the way we lost it, we go back to find the legal way to restore it. And on that legal way to restore it is where we are in this 21st century law that give us all the right to go all out to take our territory through a legal means, through a backup law, not through what we think, not through what we feel. There is no way protest under organization like IPOB, MASOB, BRIGI, BGs, and all of them can give you a country. We are going to prove it to you through law. Because Biafra was delayed to be a country. Over all these years, over 14 years of IPOB and protest, it was delayed because of the ignorance of law and the stupidity of not knowing it and claiming they do not know. Because after US redeclared, it has well opened in the eyes of the world that we have understand the legal and the international community guideline how to restore this lost country back. That is where we are at this stage. So please, the message is not for fun. We are not here to laugh and smile, but we are here to pass you a message of redemption. That is what we are here to do. to pass you what? The message of redemption. That is why I ask you to like the program, share, and also comment. We will come back to read every comment. But as before we proceed, we are going to start from the YouTube also to read those on the YouTube and see their comments one after the other. I see you, Onyangosi. You are the first person today. Onyangosi said, "Good afternoon, Mazuri Biafra TV. Please, Onyangosi, stand on the protocol. Amajishi goes, yes, stand on the protocol. Hashtag, I am a citizen of the United States of Biafra. We are the people of United States of Biafra, the lost Christian country. That is why you are seeing the massacre and genocide in Nigeria today." Amadi also said, hashtag Nigeria must go. Biafra is a nation. Under the law, we are a full nation. And also, Eke Michael said, hashtag I am a citizen of United States of Biafra. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, standing on this existing protocol. The Christian nation is why we are calling the entire world to understand that recognition of the USB is the only way to end the ongoing genocide, the massacre, the abduction that you are seeing today. Because of what? The massacre and the abduction and the buying is because they are to accomplish the mission of the Islamization in Nigeria. It's not a weather climate change. No, it is a pure agenda. That's what they are doing. Kudos, Chineke, and remain blessed. Shalom. Thank you so much. The Christian nation must exist. What is happening in Nigeria is what's happening in Libya. Yes, it is true. Oganaya said, hashtag stand on the protocol. Thank you. I'm a number one today. Hashtag I am a citizen of United States of Biafra, USB. Hashtag Nigeria must go. Short word, I take it like that. Thank you so much. Thank you. What God has determined shall be done. Yes, our own will has determined through USB Redeclared. Also said, our beloved brother, or for you, your effort towards humanity. Shalom. Thank you so much, Mazi. Thank you. And also here I have KC. KC said, greetings from here. Biafra TV. Thank you for keeping the record straight. Continue, bro. My bless you. You too, my brother. Thank you so much. I have you here. Thank you so much. Aham said, God bless USB donors. Thank you so much. Ogonaya finally said here, all hail USB. Thank God for our able mama, Agumwani, yes, so our DPM, and in homeland, our DPM, and in homeland now, I have been able to register for my ID card and certificate. Thank you so much for that. That is a very nice one from you, the full citizen of United States of Biafra. They are all doing what they're supposed to do for us to achieve our own nation back. Based on that, I so want you to understand that when they said legal path to restore a lost nation, it's not by gun and bullet. The legal path is not by gun and bullet. The legal path is by the law. That is why Finland told us that we should go and fight through legal. Finland told us that we should go and fight Biafra through legal. That is what 21st century is all about. And today, I want to assure you that this through legal, we are fighting this movement and we are gaining the ground. Over 243 countries have received the document of the US Redeclared, including Israel. Including what? Israel. We are wondering how the world is keeping silent when their own is being paid. When the ongoing genocide in Nigeria is happening, the world are keeping silent. And you forgot that this is your fellow Christian nation is one they are wiping away to Islamize us. Instead of you to quickly adhere to this legal means of the remedial section, external, no longer internal, that we have given to you to grant us recognition as a full nation. That we will end the ongoing genocide of all indigenous people and the Christians that are being buying every blessed day. That is why we quickly redeclare this lost country in the continuity with the name centered on United state of Biafra, the Christian country, the Christian nation, we are calling you to recognize us quickly to end the ongoing genocide that is happening today. Only recognition of USB will end the Nigeria impunity, and every indigenous people will have their life back. It is very, very important to the world to understand it clearly. This loss of Christian nation is why you are seeing the mass murder, the mass burial that is going on today in Nigeria. You have been trying one thing from the 1940 amalgamation to 2026, and we are asking you to change and do another different dimension, which is recognition of United States of Biafra, that we are the head and the light of Africa, that Africa may have their light back. Let African countries understand it, that they are keeping us mute and in the dark for Africa to remain in darkness. Keeping Biafra mute and keeping us in dark is why Africa remains in darkness. So the only way out is for us to do what? For us, as we are pushing for recognition, that we are calling the world to recognize us, that we will help them to end the ongoing impunity. It is very, very important if the world will listen to us. And also remember that this is your fellow Christian nation. They fight all Muslims, stand with their own people, support them. I ask why Christians nations are not supporting their own. They have Islamization organization. Where is the outright world Christian organization where you are fellow Christian will come and tell you what is happening and you will believe on it and do the needful? The needful must be done, and we have done the needful by issuing a peaceful redeclaration of this our lost nation. That is where we are. So on this note, I am transferring you into today's research program so you will follow us to understand why we are here, that USB stand on the legal part. Ngozi Orabeze, the legal. Anyone against her is acting under illegality, stupidity that will lead you into ignorance that is not an excuse in the eyes of the law. I want to prove to you the blunder when you refuse to form government-in-exile and when you refuse to issue official declaration. Before I do so, I want to greet those in the comment section back. I see you, Wanda Nenaya. Thank you so much. Oh, my brother, I've missed you. My brother, Kene, you are here today. And he said, hashtag, I am a citizen of the United States of Biafra. Nigeria must go because have our nation. We want the world to understand clearly. I greet you all here in the state of Biafra. Thank you so much for that. And I see you here. God bless you. Bless you too. Mazi Owada. Thank you. Ahamdi. Our internal leader, Dim Chukwemeko, rest in peace. Hearing Dr. Ngozi Orabeze redeclared Biafra because Bianca did not want to rest in peace and Biafra to come. Yes, so thank you so much for that. And I see you, all those in the comment section. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you, SB. Bless you too, Mazi. Thank you so much for that wonderful comment. I greet all of you as you are joining us. Please, my beloved brother and sisters of University of Biafra, let's hit the like button. If you may do so, it's going to be well for us to join us. That is why it's very, very important. James Chigozie, you and the Amaj are always on this platform. Thanks so much for being here, and let us move to the program together. It is very important. Those on TikTok, please like and share. Why is only government in exile that issue official declaration is the only way to achieve to restore a lost nation under international, not how you feel with our own local brain. Our transition to government in exile has transitioned us into international standard. So listen to this as I proceed.
To establish how refusing to form a government in exile paralyzes and forfeits a state's capacity to act, Handlungsfähigkeit, we must ground the premise across the core instruments of international law, the Montevideo Convention, the UN Charter, the Vienna Conventions, and the Geneva Conventions. While statehood itself relies on the legal presumption of continuity, a state cannot express its sovereign legal will on the international plane without an authorized governing organ. Refusing to constitute a government in exile turns a temporary loss of physical territory into an irreversible loss of legal agency. 1. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Destruction of the operational criterion. The Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States sets out the classic 4 criteria for statehood. 1. Permanent population. 2. Defined territory. 3. Government. 4. Capacity to enter into relations with other states. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Criterion number 3. Government. Criterion number 4. Capacity. Preserve de jure during occupation.
Hey, sorry. 1 minute, please. Bear with me. We are moving there. We are not stopping. Because what we are doing, we must start and we must finish it. So please, bear with me 1 minute. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Requires active executive agency. Refusal to form exiled government v. Paralysis of legal capacity. No organ exists to enter binding relations. The legal breakdown. Article 1D and capacity to act. Under international law, a state's capacity to enter into relations is not just a passive status. It requires an active, competent authority capable of issuing full powers, plenipotentiary status. Fictional versus abandoned organs. When a state's territory is occupied, international law creates a legal fiction allowing criterion number 3, government, and criterion number 4, capacity, to survive abroad as a government in exile. The violation/blunder, refusing or failing to organize an exiled authority, abandons the legal fiction. Without a designated government in exile, the state retains an abstract legal personality, de jure statehood, but it completely loses its procedural capacity to act, de facto agency. 2. UN Charter. Deprivation of sovereign standing and self-defense. The Charter of the United Nations regulates state sovereignty, self-defense, and representation before global bodies. Refusing to form a government in exile directly undermines a state's protections under several key articles. A. Article 2.1. Sovereign equality of members. Norm. The UN is based on the principle of the sovereign equality of all its members. Impact. Sovereignty must be asserted by a recognized entity. Without a government in exile to sit in international forums, the state's seat at the UN becomes vacant or falls to credential challenges. Rule 27 to 29 of the UNGA Rules of Procedure. B. Article 2.4. Prohibition of the threat or use of force. Norm. Members shall refrain from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. Impact. While Article 2.4 protects the occupied state, who lodges the formal protest against the aggressor? If the ousted leadership refuses to form a government in exile, there is no official body to invoke Article 2.4 breaches before the UN Security Council, UNSC, or the International Court of Justice, ICJ. C. Article 51. The right of individual or collective self-defense. Norm. Nothing in the Charter impairs the inherent right of individual or collective self-defense if an armed attack occurs. Impact. Exercising collective self-defense requires a formal request for assistance from the legitimate sovereign government of the victim state. If no government in exile exists, third-party ally states lack the legal invitation needed to lawfully intervene, rendering Article 51 functionally dead. 3. Vienna Conventions. Loss of treaty power and diplomatic agency. The Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties, VCLT 1969, and the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, VCDR 1961, regulate how states express their legally binding consent and maintain diplomatic links. Vienna Conventions, 1961-69. VCLT, 1969. Treaty-making, VCDR, 1961. Diplomatic agency. Art 7, full powers required. Art 2, mutual consent preserved. Art 6, capacity to conclude treaties. Art 39, continuation of immunities. Type. Refusal to form exiled government v. Extinction of treaty and diplomatic power. No representative possesses full powers. Embassies lose status and protection. AVCLT 1969. Inability to express consent. Article 6. Capacity of states to conclude treaties. Every state possesses capacity to conclude treaties. Article 7. Full powers. A person represents a state for adopting or authenticating a treaty text only if they produce full powers, or if it appears from practice that they hold ex officio authority, head of state, head of government, minister for foreign affairs. The impact. If exiled leaders refuse to constitute a government in exile, no person on earth holds full powers for that state. The state's capacity to sign treaties, modify alliances, or join international conventions is frozen. BVCDR 1961. Extinction of diplomatic immunity and mission control. Article 2 and Article 39. Diplomatic relations and embassy functions rely on continuous sovereign representation. The impact. Without a recognized government in exile to accredit ambassadors and consular staff, foreign host states must close embassies or declare personnel persona non grata. Crucially, sovereign diplomatic property, embassies, archives, risks being handed over to the de facto occupying regime. 4. Geneva Conventions, 1949. Loss of protection under IHL. The Geneva Conventions of 1949 and Additional Protocol 1, 1977, govern the law of armed conflict, jus in bello, and belligerent occupation. Refusing to form a government in exile strips a state of vital protections under international humanitarian law, IHL. A. Common Article 2. Application to occupation. Norm. The Geneva Conventions apply to all cases of partial or total occupation of the territory of a high contracting party. Impact. To maintain that a territory is under illegal occupatio bellica, temporary military occupation, rather than lawful annexation or conquest, a competing sovereign authority must exist to claim title over the land. B. 3rd Geneva Convention, GPW, Article 4, A3. Norm. Protects members of regular armed forces who profess allegiance to a government or an authority not recognized by the detaining power. Impact. This clause explicitly protects resistance forces fighting on behalf of a government in exile. If the leadership refuses to organize a government in exile, armed resistance members risk being classified as unlawful combatants or bandits under domestic criminal law, rather than lawful belligerents entitled to prisoner of war, POW status. Synthesis. Legal personality versus legal agency. International legal instrument. Key provision affected. Result of refusing to form a government in exile, Montevideo Convention, 1933. Art 1D. Capacity to enter relations. Eradicates operational legal agency, defaults recognition to occupying forces. UN Charter, 1945. Art 2.1, Art 2.4, Art 51. Inability to request collective self-defense or lodge formal ICJ-UNSC claims. Vienna Convention, 1961. Art 2 and Art 39. Diplomatic representation. Loss of embassy protections and forfeiture of overseas sovereign assets. Vienna Convention, 1969. Art 7. Full powers requirement. Extinction of treaty-making power. No valid organ can bind the state. Geneva Conventions, 1949. Common Art 2 and 3rd Convention Art 4A3. Resistance fighters lose POW status. Territory risks prescriptive annexation. Summary conclusion. Refusing to form a government in exile does not destroy a state's theoretical de jure existence immediately, but it destroys its procedural capacity to act, Handlungsfähigkeit. In public international law, an unexercised legal capacity combined with an absent representative authority inevitably leads to the tacit forfeiture of state rights, asset seizure, and eventual extinction of statehood by default.
I hope you listened. One thing is that you may do not understand what I'm doing here, but when you deep down, calm down, then you understand what I'm doing. The level where we are has passed the level of protest, agitation on the street. The level has moved. If you are doing anything, protest, agitation, there is no legal backup. But you can see all the laws, Vienna Convention, Geneva Convention, UN Charter, Montevideo Convention, and all the charters that are protecting a government in exile. That one that issue official redeclaration of a lost country. We need to understand how to achieve it. To achieve a lost country is not by gun and bullets. No, it is a legal process. The legal process is one of the most very important effective that we need to look at into. Because of what? That is how every other country after the Second World War achieved their nation back. Those who lost it went down to form government in exile. And they want to understand that the only legal, legitimate group that government in exile that the world knows is only government in exile. He is the only government. He is the only legitimate right to restore a lost country. Not by protest, not by name of organization. It is a must done that you must form government in exile. You must issue official redeclaration of this lost country. That is why it is very, very imperative to listen to the real deal and understand why we have to focus now that USB has been proving the call legitimate government in exile for the people of the University of Biafra, for us to have our nation back. You may look like child's play in your eyes. You may look like nothing. But when you remove your envy, your jealous, your hatred to burn down on international process, then you will understand what USB stands for and why I said United States of Biafra declared by Chief of Staff, DPM, the only legal way for organization of Biafra to become a country, the only legal way to do what? To restore this lost nation, the Biafra Republic that was lost in the hands of Nigeria. That is why it is very imperative at this stage that the only one way you have to restore this lost country is through you as redeclared, through this government in exile that have already official issue a official peaceful redeclaration of this lost nation. How we brought it back in the continuity with the name and title United States of Biafra, USB. You may take it, you may leave it, but it remains that this is what it's all about. Please like and share to join us. I will play the audio once again. As I'm playing, we'll be pausing to analyze it. You know, that is how we do it here.
To establish how refusing to form a government in exile paralyzes and forfeits a state's capacity to act,
there is what I want to pick up from here. To establish how refuse to form a government in exile paralyzed. This is what has ended up the movement. This is how the movement becomes irrelevant. This is how the movement dies. But when you, as a human being who believe that we need this lost nation, the only way you prove it is under the law, is by standing on existing protocol of the international community. This protocol, or how we restore this nation that we lost in 1970, is not that the same way we lost it. That process we went that leads to lose this nation, we are not going to go that the same way again. We are going to go to the way that people like Namibia in 1960, people like Algeria in 1957, people like Ghana in 1957 also, how they redeclared their nation and they stand on the mandate that this is our nation. The people of Biafra, we are not the first that have lost our country. Check the history. A country called Ethiopia in Africa lost their nation and redeclare. Eritrea in Africa lost their nation. Look at Cape Verde, you are hearing today, lost their nation. They redeclare it. And I want you to know that between the 1960 to 1990, that over 30 countries in Africa use government in exile model for them to get their country back. Those that just needed newly, like Namibia, that got their independence from South Africa that we are hearing today. And as I'm talking to you right now, South Africa has another nation that is trying to pull out from South Africa again. They are in exile in France. This particular group, this particular organization, they have officially on December 24, 2025, they have issued official government in exile structure. That is what they're using to fight against South Africa you see today. They want to exit the same way Namibia exits from South Africa. So we are not the first. We are not going to be the last. And I want to understand that in this world we are living, you have what? 75 government in exile. Out of the 75 government in exile in Africa, we have 9 government in exile in Africa right now. Those who have went into exile, like I'm telling you, as I'm talking right now, a country is coming out from Namibia. A country is coming out from Algeria. You know about Amazonia that is coming out from where? From Cameroon. You know about the people of Biafra. I am the citizen, one of them, that we have already exited out from Nigeria. Now we are seeking recognition. As I'm talking to you right now, in that 75 government in exile that the world mapped out, that is well organized, the world has already understand that this 75, they narrow it down. They said there is what? There is 35 that is very effective. Out of the 30 that is very effective, out of this 35, they narrowed it down to first 10. I want to tell you that the US really declared that this wonderful name, United States of Biafra, that was really declared on November 20, 2024, like the same way America issued the Declaration of America 1776 the August. That is when America issued their official Declaration of America by only 56 men. They called them intercontinental congressmen that issue and sign their signature that America should be a country. The same way that nobody signed, not even the same way, because nobody signed a name called Nigeria as a nation. Is from the Niger Company of British, and they use their charter to give you a name of a country till today. That is why they are governing you by force, that you must remain here. And we, the people of Biafra, already said no, that we are not going to remember this by forced name. That is by forced marriage, that we don't want this such a nation anymore. I see those in the comment section. I see you, Darlington. Thanks so much for joining us. I see you, Tony. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. As you join us, please follow us and also like our program if you can. Now, for us to get it right, now you check the model that's when we move from Africa. Now, look at a country called Belgium. In 1944, Belgium was the first country ever that introduced government in exile, and the international community in general accepted government in exile. In the Belgium we are hearing today was in exile in United Kingdom for over 51 good years. Because of what? I hope you check the history. Also, the run of Belgium. Because of the what? The Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. They joined hands together, dealt with Belgian people. The men who remains the Belgian citizens transitioned their movement into United Kingdom, precisely London. They formed government in exile. They issue what? Redeclaration. They redeclare their country back. And they waited for 51 years for them to take over their territory in exile. What of the almighty Poland we are hearing today? Poland transition into exile, the same London. Check the history. What of the almighty Netherlands you are hearing today? They transitioned because Germany showed them Che. Do you also know that France was being colonized by Germany? Germany showed France Che. France transitioned into London, government-in-exile. They started from there, move on with their life, on to recognize them. Do you also know that when America issued their declaration in 1776, that the first country ever, after a year and 6 months, that recognized America is Morocco? That is why today every citizen of Morocco has a free visa traveling to America. Do you understand the reason why? Every Moroccan today have passport of America. Do you know why? Because they are the first country ever that recognized America when America issued their declaration to exit out from the Great Britain. After a year, after 3 years, France was the second that recognizes America. If France was the one who gave America weapon to chase away British in their territory. This is how these countries migrate. This is how they got their own. And how they got their own is where USB is today. I have mentioned to you 6 in Africa. I have also mentioned to you 3 in Europe. Not only them. What of Czechoslovakia? Czechoslovakia was among them. What of the Baltic state? What of the Lithuania? And many of them. What of Ireland that was it was captivity of the oppressed for 400 years? You think that there is no way, it's not possible to exit from Nigeria. No, we are the one holding ourselves because we refuse to work on the law, how Biafra will become a country. We refuse to work how to restore it legally. We have been on illegality under the name IPOB organization. Under IPOB, we are under illegality. But under usually declared, now it is legal. And you may ask yourself, why did the UN Charter and all their article? Why the Montevideo Convention of all their article? Why the Vienna Convention of all their article? Why the Geneva Convention in all their articles said that the only legal way is by forming government in exile? The government in exile must issue official declaration if it is a new country already declared. That is why any day you see any country today celebrating their independence, that is the day they accepted that this is our name of our country. So the USB, through the leadership of Zongo Arabese, has automatically granted us a nation. If you are in Biafra homeland, I pick your certificates of citizens of Biafra, free of charge. The link is out. Go and fill the form. You will have certificate that you are a Biafran. This is also things that push under international law, the criteria to achieve recognition. To establish, however, how refuse to form government in exile. When you refuse to form government in exile, you are silencing the movement. We must ground the access to core instrumental of international law. What are these instruments of international law? Now, the Montevideo Convention, the UN Charter, the Vienna Convention, and the Geneva Convention. These are the law that leads to having how to restore a lost country, or how to, when you declare a new one, that may be like Oduduwa Nation today, Yorubas, who are them Oduduwa, if they have declared it openly, it's just a declaration because it was the first time. Not like our own who went through war with Nigeria government, that Nigeria government tried, Nigeria and British and Russia committed a war crime by joining them to massacre the indigenous people. Because of what? I'm asking you, Nigeria, is it working for you? Nigeria, is it working for you? Nigeria, is it a country really? Why there is no insurance of your life? Why there is no benefit in Nigeria? That is why the people who understand, and those things that leads to Ojukwu to fight for Biafra All of them has repeated over and over and over again. I want you to understand sincerely that the only way for this is only usually declared. And you can hear it here. Why statehood itself relies on the legal way. Why is state of government in exile must rely on the legal way of continuity? The word continuity means that now that we have issued a declaration of our old nation into the new one, like when you painted an old house and furnished the house new, it looked like a new branded house. But within you, you know that you continued from the old one. So the word continuity means that the old has never died, that you just bring it up. You raise it up, and that is how what we did. That is what the people of Biafra did in November 2024. This is how we become a nation. This is how the world needs to know about us, that we have come to the legal path. That we have come to what? To the legal path, how to achieve this our nation. This is the only way. There is no other way around. Any other way leads to more destruction. Any other way leads to more iron of the people. That is why we bend down through the legal way to achieve it. It may take us time. Destiny can be delayed, but it can never be denied. Destiny can be delayed, but destiny can never be denied. A state cannot exercise its sovereign legal will on the international plan without authorized governing organ. Without authorized governing organ. The only authorized governing organ is a government in exile that have issued a peaceful declaration despite temporarily losing of the physical control into irreversible loss of illegal territory. We have come back to do what? This is the only authorized legal way for you to achieve it, is through what? A government in exile. Now let us go in under the law. The Montevideo Convention, 1933, duration of the operating of the criterion. The Montevideo Convention on the right of duties of a new state set out the class 4 criteria for statehood, what the criteria you will meet, and how you become a nation. Number 1, permanent population. Define territory. What is population? The population is you are going to prove by asking the Biafrans in abroad to have USB ID card, in the homeland to accept the birth certificate, and with insurance of your life under USB, whether you like it or not. That is proving a government. In a country where you are, there is insurance of your life and the citizens. And we have proven that by asking every Biafran for you to accept what? For you to accept and feel. And on the comment section from YouTube side, someone said, I have filled my form. Now I am a full citizen of a new nation called United States of Biafra. That is the population. Now, define territory. The territory of the Biafra is what? Is the 40 states. When you go to the map of the world right now, go to Google, ask, where can I find the 40 states of United States of Biafra? Just on the Google. It has been at archive. You have registered it already. Type on your phone, where can I find the 40 states that made up of United States of Biafra as a nation? Type it, they will give it to you on the Google. Anywhere you type, even on Facebook, you will see the 40 states. You will hear all the names, and you will start from the old to the new one. In Anambra has 2 states. Anambra has 2 states, or the Megu, Ikemba, and the Omambala. This is how it's. So you will also know who is your governor. You will also know who is the House of Representatives, and all of them. Not that you will see them far away. So you know who is governing you and know his house. That is never an ruler. That is what USB is bringing to the world through the legal means by Chief of Staff, Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, and others. Now, government, that is why we call them now, because of they said, because of they lost the physical control. That is why they use the word government in exile. And the government in exile did not see us start. Rather, Belgium has used it. Algeria used it. When Algeria is fighting against France, Algeria was in exile in Egypt and the same Morocco. When Namibia is fighting against South Africa, there was in exile in Angola, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe. This is where people of Namibia you are hearing today. This is where they went to their own exile. So today, the same way Belgium went into exile in London, precisely, we have went to exile in Finland and the US, where our leaders are there from there pushing for this recognition. That is where we are. You can see the criteria. Out of the 75 governments in the world, USB is a number 4 as one of the most effective governments in exile that are seeking to achieve recognition. This is how it happened. User, I greet you. Thank you so much. Now, what of the word government in exile? Now they said the capacity to enter into relation with other states. When the international community, their word is states. Whenever you hear states, simply mean a nation or a country. That is, they use word state, the capacity. You will have all these things before you can enter into relation. What that relation is all about is for you to sign diplomatic treaty, do's and don'ts. Let's play the audio again from the research.
To establish how refusing to form a government in exile paralyzes and forfeits a state's capacity to act, Handlungsfähigkeit, we must ground the premise across the core instruments of international law, the Montevideo Convention, the UN Charter, the Vienna Conventions, and the Geneva Conventions. While statehood itself relies on the legal presumption of continuity, a state cannot express its sovereign legal will on the international plane without an authorized governing organ. Refusing to constitute a government in exile turns a temporary loss of physical territory into an irreversible loss of legal agency. 1. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Destruction of the operational criterion. The Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States sets out the classic 4 criteria for statehood. 1. Permanent population. 2. Defined territory. 3. Government. 4. Capacity to enter into relations with other states. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Criterion number 3. Government criterion number 4. Capacity. Preserve de jure during occupation. Requires active executive agency. Refusal to form exiled government v. Paralysis of legal capacity. No organ exists to enter binding relations. The legal breakdown. Article 1D and capacity to act. Under international law, a state's capacity to enter into relations is not just a passive status. It requires an active, competent authority capable of issuing full powers, plenipotentiary status.
Are you hearing it? And this is only where we are. This Article D, capacity to act under international law, a state's capacity to enter into relations is not just preview status. No, you must have you must have a strong government. What is their job? Their job is 1, to issue what? The documents of their country to their people. Then number 2, their job is to seek for diplomatic recognition by sending the name and the papers that was being signed by the indigenous people to different countries in the world. That is why as of today, USB has sent 243 countries documents to use Redeclared, and including Israel and America. That is how they prove that it's a government, because they are the one to go. They are not going to go by any lobby or by any human being. You will go by yourself, because it's your own nation that you're talking about.
Fictional versus abandoned organs. When a state's territory is occupied, international law creates a legal fiction allowing criterion number 3, government, and criterion number 4, capacity, to survive abroad as a government in exile.
Are you hearing it? To survive through what? A government in exile. When a state territory occupied, is occupied, international law creates a legal function, allows creation, hashtag governments and the creation, hashtag capacity to survive abroad as a government in exile. This is under the Montevideo Convention, Article 1D. You see where the power is all about. It's all about legal. It's not about illegality. And it's only government in exile who has this right, not organization like IPOB, not MASOB, not BRIC, not BGC. They are not government in exile. And make it open, look at the world. To survive abroad as a government in exile, to survive in abroad as what? As a government in exile. That is where we are today. And that is why you will see Redeclared of US Redeclared.
The violation/blunder, refusing or failing to organize an exiled authority, abandons the legal fiction. Without a designated government in exile, the state retains an abstract legal personality, de jure statehood, but it completely loses its procedural capacity to act, de facto agency.
Are you hearing it? It is very important that we listen to all this, because this is how every other nation achieved their own. To violation/blunder. Now the blunder. Refuse or forming to organize an exile authority. Abandon the legal function. When you refuse to form government in exile, you have abandoned the legal functioning, how you can restore a lost nation. Without designating government in exile, the state retains under obstacle legal personality, the blunder. When you refuse to form government in exile, you are committing violation, you are committing blunder, and you can never be under the legal process. You are committing an illegal blunder. But it completely loses its procedural capacity to act. When there is no government in exile, you are shouting IPOB, one family, MASOB, on this and that. You are acting under illegality. Look at it here. They said it's the only government in exile is the only way you prove that you are no longer under this illegality. How else do you want the world to prove to you that this is how we are going to achieve Biafra as a nation? Can't you understand the simple logic? Because of we have never been on this legal path. That is why Biafra has not become a nation. Now we have come into this legal path. You can see how it's working. That is why the world is talking about Biafra in this 21st century after our peaceful redeclaration. November 20, 1924, in Helsinki, Finland, where we are in exile, like when Belgium was in exile in 1944 in London. When a country like Namibia was in exile in 1960. This is how we have come across all these. That is where we are, for you to understand that this is only the legal part, how to achieve this lost country back. Now, we have treated Montevideo Convention. Let us go to UN Charter.
2. UN Charter. Deprivation of sovereign standing and self-defense. The Charter of the United Nations regulates state sovereignty, self-defense, and representation before global bodies. Refusing to form a government in exile directly undermines a state's protections under several key articles.
Now, I want you to get only from here. It's very important. Refusing to form government in exile directly undermine the state protection under several key articles. When you refuse to form government in exile officially, you are bringing to you. In fact, you have opened yourself, you brought to yourself that the world will undermine you. And there is many key legal articles of the United Nations Charter that backs everything about self-determination up. When it's come to restore a lost country, the backup is only for the government in exile. You had it here. It's not about the emotion. It's not about how I feel, what I think. It's how every other nation that lost their own achieve it. We are not the first people in this world that have lost our nation. People has lost their nation in the past, and they have regained it back. Our own has wasted years. From 1967 to 2026 is 57 years. What takes Algeria 30 years to achieve? What takes Namibia 30 years? What takes Poland 15 years to achieve? What takes a country like Australia 10 years to achieve is what has taken us 57 years, because of how we feel, what we think, and claiming we know it all, while we know nothing, and we are acting under stupidity that push us into ignorance of law as not an excuse. That is why the world shied away when the Biafra was being massacred in protest and being arrested illegally and detained in different many prisons in Nigeria. Until now that we have come back to this legal part, that is how Biafra becomes a nation. Now, let us go to the Article 2 in bracket 1.
A. Article 2.1. Sovereign equality of members.
Are you hearing it? This is from the UN Charter. A. Article 2 in bracket 1. Sovereign equality of members. Now, let us go in.
Norm. The UN is based on the principle of the sovereign equality of all its members.
Are you hearing it?
Impact. Sovereignty must be asserted by a recognized entity. Without a government in exile to sit in international forums, the state's seat at the UN becomes vacant or falls to credential challenges. Rule 27 to 29 of the UNGA Rules of Procedure.
Are you hearing it? Are you hearing it? Why is only you to declare is the only option you have? In part, sovereignty must be arrested by a recognized entity. Without a government in exile to sit in international forum, the state seat at the UN becomes vacant, or fails to criteria of challenging Rule 27 to 29 of the UNGR Rules of Protection. This is how every other nation in the world has come. Under the law, is giving only government in exile the chance. And they said, when you did not form government in exile to restore your lost nation, that you are giving vacancy, you are giving space, and nobody will talk about you until you come to the line of government in exile. Remember, type on your phone Article 2 in bracket 1 of the UN Charter. You can see by yourself. Go to Google and find it out. It's there. Just once type UN Charter, Article 2 in brackets, so they give it so you can read by yourself to understand why only US declared is the only option we have for us to have our own new nation. I also ask you on the comment section, those on YouTube, please like and share the program and comment. Your comment is helping YouTube to uplift the message. Please, that is why it's important. Philip or Forge, I greet you. Igwe, I greet you. Timothy, I greet you. Ebe, I greet you. Thank you so much for coming. Please, if you never like the program, I don't know what you're still waiting for. Please like and share the program. Please, endeavor to do that. Now, let us continue.
Article 2.4.
Now we are in B, Article 2.4. We have moved from Article 2 in bracket 1. Now we move to B, Article 2 in bracket 4. Prohibition of the threatening of using force. That is where the government in exile now fully gain level to enter.
Prohibition of the threat or use of force. Norm. Members shall refrain from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state.
Are you hearing it? That is why the 21st century that started from 2001. That is why this particular area said what? It said, the Article 2 in bracket 4 of the UN Charter. Prohibition of the threat of use of force. For those who want Biafra under US to start knocking water. What are you doing? They are buying us. They are doing this and that. And the word said that they prohibit anyone to use force to attack existing country. Now, whether they like it or not, Nigeria is existing country, international law. The only way to break them down is go to the legal means of government-in-exile, issue of official declaration, and use a document of legal to petition Nigeria. That is what USB is doing right now. That is what USB is doing at this stage. That is why we need our country. And this is the only way, because of what? If you go further on Article 5, in paragraph 5, 6, and 7, if you eventually try to use will of force against Nigeria, they said that the entire UN member will come against the Biafran declaration. That is the norms. That is why they are a member. So using force is being prohibited. Knocking woto kana agba ana akụ igwe adezikwa akụ ịkụọ ịmana Biafra amambia nke Ojukwu okro Biafra ọbịara. The igwe Ojukwu okro America Biafra bịa. And you want to by igwe, but now the world has told us that the only way we get it is by words, by peaceful means, through petition and document of the youth declared, which is the declaration already declared is what? Notification of legal possible of achieving a lost country. This is the way. I want you to let us reason and stop being ignorant of this law. That is why the world shied away from us since over 57 years. You know what's called 57 years? 50 decades. One decade is 10 years. 1 decade is 10 years. Do you know how many years we have been? How many years we have wasted with the IPOB organization and myself without doing the legal process, the right thing, how to achieve this lost nation? It's very simple. And we have been suffering. Our people have been arrested. Our people have been paid. A lot of things has happened. That is why I'm asking you, if you believe in you declared, to be calm and support your government, and also take every instruction from the government. That is why we understand that the government is only way, and the government is on all the legal process through all our allies and all the international lawyers, and that backs this movement up. You do not understand it until when you go deep. Remember Article 4 prohibit the use of force. Let's continue. The impact. While Article 4 protected the occupied state. Now, if you use force against Nigeria, this Article 2 in bracket 4 of the UN will now protect Nigeria to deal with us like what happened in 1970. And let me tell you, the Biafran today does not have what it takes to battle Nigeria. That is why we have to go to this legal path to win them. And we are winning, whether I like it or not. We are what? We are winning, whether you like it or not. And to restore a lost country, it does not rely on one person's shoulder. It must not be Mazen and the can. If it's going to be on one person's shoulder, as Ojukwu dies, that is why Peter Obi and their gullible or Basani was saying that Biafra has died. Who told you? We are here because after the war was being born. That is why we call it what? The continuity of Redeclared of this lost country. The blood is in us, in our vein. We will not deny who we are. Even though that Nigeria, because of this, remove history in the school. Imagine a country without no history. It's not 419. That is why British advised Nigeria that to remove history. British advised Nigeria to remove history. Let me tell you, as first term started, do you know that anything in English book in Nigeria, you won't find anything concerning old Eastern region, Biafra, or Southeast in it. They removed totally. The only what you will hearing is Yoruba and the Hausas, the Fulani Caliphate. They have removed anything about us, and you are there. Upon they have proven you are not among us. We are not one people, and we can never be one people. Those that claim that they are the founding father or the forefathers of Nigeria, all of them say that Nigeria is not a country, that British have tried to manage us, but we cannot, because we are different people totally. From the YouTube, you are questioned, do you think that UN will just come and do something against? It's now that UN has right to talk. Now that USB has sent document, do you expect that they will send document and they will start talking immediately? It's not that way. It's not that way. They are watching us. They are like our teachers that give us an exam. So they want to see how we will pass. So we will pass before they will talk about us. I said what? We have to pass before they will do what? Talk about us. And we are passing. So do not panic.
Impact. While Article 2.4 protects the occupied state, who lodges the formal protest against the aggressor? If the ousted leadership refuses to form a government in exile, there is no official body to invoke Article 2.4 breaches before the UN Security Council, UNSC, or the International Court of Justice, ICJ.
This is why I am telling you, whether I like it or not, that we have understand our mistake, and the government of USB has trying to correct all these mistakes that happened before. The government of USB has correct all these mistakes that has happened by issue of official redeclaration of our lost country. This is how, and this is what the world was waiting. Now, you see this, all this UN, they will talk by force, because they said a legal document of a peaceful redeclaration from a government in exile is by forced recognition to the international community, a very international notification that nobody will ignore. So that is why we know that, and when you go to the law, you found out, and you know that law is automatically being implemented. No, it's a gradual process. That is why I said that a destiny can be delayed, but it can never be denied. Now, listen. In part, why Article 2 in bracket 4 protected the occupied state like Nigeria? Why it was being protected? Who lodged the formal protest against the aggressor? If the outlying leadership refused to form government in exile, there is no office body to invoke Article 2 in bracket 4 before the UN Security Council, UNSC, or the International Court of Justice, ICJ. It's only by what? It's only by a government in exile. That is only the way that the world will talk about us. It's only through government in exile is how this, when Nigeria trying to invoke Article 2 to us, that is not going to happen. Sorry for that. That is the only way it's not going to happen. That is why we are calling to all international community to understand that we, as the people of Biafra, has now met the criteria through a peaceful means of this movement. We have met all standard criteria. We are no longer into the ignorance of law. We have learned the law through a government in exile that is only legitimate way to restore this lost nation back. Wednesday, I see you. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you so much. Now let's proceed to Article 51.
C. Article 51, the right of individual or collective self-defense.
Are you hearing it? Article 51, the right of individual or collective self-defense. Now, listen how it is very important to we all.
Nothing in the Charter impairs the inherent right of individual or collective self-defense if an armed attack occurs. Impact. Exercising collective self-defense requires a formal request for assistance from the legitimate sovereign government of the victim state. If no government in exile exists, third-party ally states lack the legal invitation needed to lawfully intervene, rendering Article 51 functionally dead.
Are you hearing it? I want you to, when you are listening, I want you to pick in the center point of the program, which is take home or take away from the program. What you must take today from the program. Exercising collective self-determination requires a formal request of what? From the legitimate sovereign government of the victim. We are the victim of the war, and we must form a government. And which government? Victim state. If no government in exile exists, the third party allowing states like the legal invitation needed to lawful interference of resistance of Article 51 functional dead. You made it this law that is on our side as the victim of Nigerian government. With government in exile, we don't have it. The right has been lost, and we have killed the right when we remain under protest, agitation, and be clear that we are fighting for Biafra, or we are waiting for Master to come and continue. If it's like that, why, when Ojukwu dies, nobody could have championed Biafra again? Now, remember, we are onto the last C of the UN Charter. We are going to the Vienna Convention. Where is it? Please permit me. I have some more than 20 before I will accept any guest. Please let me finish my analysis. Then that is how I do it. Then I will bring you in. Thank you so much.
Vienna Conventions, loss of treaty power and diplomatic agency. The Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties, VCLT 1969, and the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, VCDR 1961, regulate how states express their legally binding consent and maintain diplomatic links.
Are you hearing it? Diplomatic links and how it's being maintained. Vienna Convention, the Vienna Convention of Treaties, Power, and Diplomatic Allies. The Vienna Convention on the Law of the Treaties, VCLT 1969, and the Vienna Convention of Diplomatic Relations, VCDR 1961. You have 1969 and 1961. Regulating how a state express their legal building consents and maintaining diplomatic link. Now, we will find out how this concern government in exile and how this concern United States of Biafra declared and why we needed it at this stage.
Vienna Conventions, 1961-69.
Listen.
VCLT, 1969. Treaty Making, VCDR, 1961. Diplomatic Agency. Art 7, Full Powers Required. Art 2, Mutual Consent Preserved. Art 6, Capacity to Conclude Treaties. Art 39, Continuation of Immunities. Type. Refusal to form exiled government v. Extinction of treaty and diplomatic power. No representative possesses full powers. Embassies lose status and protection. AVCLT, 1969. Inability to express consent. Article 6. Capacity of states to conclude treaties. Every state possesses capacity to conclude treaties. Article 7. Full powers. A person represents a state for adopting or authenticating a treaty text only if they produce full powers, or if it appears from practice that they hold ex officio authority, head of state, head of government, minister for foreign affairs. The impact.
Now, let us analyze a little bit here. You had it here. Without a government in exile, there is no way to exercise the right of the legitimate government or to restore a new nation or a lost country. That is why as of this 2026, you have 75 government in exile. You have what? 75 government in what? In exile as of this 2026. And the world is watching at us, looking. When you listen to this Vienna Convention, you find out all the rights needed for us to have our own nation. And in all this right to have this nation through US Redeclared, then you may understand it clearly. That is only through this means, and you are hearing how they are hitting on government in exile, not organization. IPOB is an organization. Do not deceive when they shout IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra. We are the indigenous people. You don't need to register indigenous people to register as organization. But mass like MASOB register their own. What is the meaning of MASOB? All these things has their status and what they represent. So it's only the name for us to come together to do what? To issue or feature redeclaration of our lost country. Like when Mazdan Kano said, a time will come when we are going to form government in exile to issue or feature redeclaration of our lost nation. And that government has been redeclared. That government has been formed by Simon Ebanjoko. Then being arrested, then the Congo's Arabese, as the chief of staff, the DPM, issue official legal declaration that is the only legal way to achieve recognition for a lost nation. A VCLT 1969, inability to exercise consent. Article 6, capacity of states to conclude treaties. Every state possess a capital to include treaties. Article 7, full power. A person representing a state for adopting or authorizing a treaty text only if they produce a full power, or if they appears from a person that they hold as official authority, head of state, head of government, minister of foreign affairs. These are those who will submit a document of a lost redeclared nation. Head of state, head of government, minister of foreign affairs, not by any private individual. Like what our beloved wife, our beloved sister, our beloved auntie, Rachel Nwosi is doing is the right, but not in a right legal way. Because what she's doing is good. She's continuously creating the awareness for the government in exile of youth redeclared. IPOB is not a government in exile. BRIG is not there. PGC, PUK, all these that are attacking USB after they declared is what people of Namibia passed through. So the history is purely repeating in our own case. Is what? Is purely repeating in our own case. And those who will submit this document, they said, Article 7 of the Vienna Convention, full power, a person representing a state for adopting or authorizing treaty text only if they produce full power, or if it appears from the present that the holding as official authority, head of state, head of government, minister of foreign affairs. These are those who will send document of use redeclared as a lost nation that we have redeclared to prove on a legal part of international law, which is that including starting from the Montevideo Convention, Geneva Convention, Vienna Convention, and UN Charter, as we are reading right now, the Vienna Convention and all the articles.
World leaders refuse to constitute a government in exile. No person on earth.
No, let's do something here. The impact. If Israel that refuse to consolidate to constitute a government in exile, no person or either hold full power for the state. If they refuse to what? To form government in exile, no person or on earth hold full power for the state. If they refuse to do what? To form government in exile, there is nobody. So what you see that our sister Rachel Nwosu is doing, this is under the law of this Article 7, is what she did not understand. That is only the foreign minister of USB is the one to do it for us. And they have already sent it to the government of Israel. Please, as you join us, like the program on YouTube, is joining from TikTok, please like and follow us for more information. We are not doing saga. We come with all the evidence you needed, and under the law is what we are doing. Please. Let's continue.
Holds full powers for that state. The state's capacity to sign treaties, modify alliances, or join international conventions is frozen. BVC.
Listen to this. BVCDR 1961, extension of diplomatic immunity and the mission control. Please like the program, and also please follow us for more information. Article 2 and Article 39, diplomatic relations and the embassy functioning rely on continuation of sovereign representation from a government in exile that have issued official redeclaration of a lost nation. The impact: without organized government in exile to accredited ambassador and the consul staff, foreign host state must close embassy or declare personal posenia non-grant, cancel sovereign diplomatic process. Embassies achieving risk by handed over the de facto occupying regime. Now, what is here? What is here is this. On this Article 2 and Article 39 about diplomatic relation, they said when the government in exile had already been formed, that you have to register embassy in any country or mission head. That is what USB call mission head. That is why also here I am ambassador under the mission head of USB Redeclared of the country called United States of Biafra through the legal process, submitting all the document of USB. So when you listen to it, I want to pay good attention. Now, if we don't have any mission head, there is no ambassador. What happened? You don't have to register embassy, because the embassy must work with ambassador in exile. They said in a foreign land or in abroad, that the government in exile is operating because of the power of what? Suppression, and those who occupy our land, like the Nigerian government, that neutralize that everywhere in our land is military. And if when you refuse to work with them, they want to buy you. That is why it's very important for you to understand it clearly here. You see why we have every country, we have mission head on it. Those mission heads represent the common world. If you look at the certificate, you are ambassador of what? United States of Biafra, that are seeking for recognition. These are the criteria you must meet for you as a country first, before you will be able to achieve recognition. Now, we have finished what? The Vienna Convention. We end it on today on Article 2 and Article 29. We are going to Geneva Convention. Listen.
DR 1961. Extinction of diplomatic immunity and mission control. Article 2 and Article 39. Diplomatic relations and embassy functions rely on continuous sovereign representation. The impact: without a recognized government in exile to accredit ambassadors and consular staff, foreign host states must close embassies or declare personnel persona non grata. Crucially, sovereign diplomatic property, embassies, archives, risks being handed over to the de facto occupying regime. 4. Geneva
If you
Convention.
did not have all these things, they will turn back your document and everything back to Nigeria government, that we are not qualified to have our own nation. That is why the government is everywhere in all over the country to put this for people to understand how serious and how determined we are to restore this lost nation.
1949. Loss of protection under IHL. The Geneva Conventions of 19...
Now, remember, we are on Geneva Convention. From 4 different laws that back up a government in exile, we are now for the final of it, which is where you find how to restore a Biafra that we lost in 1970 finally. It's not by mouth, it's not by church, it is by the law. Then the Geneva Convention of 1949, loss of protection under IHL. Listen.
49 and Additional Protocol 1, 1977, govern the law of armed conflict, jus in bello, and belligerent occupation. Refusing to form a government in exile strips a state of vital protections under international humanitarian law, IHL.
Are you hearing it? The Geneva Convention of 1949 and the Additional Protocol, jus in bello, and the belligerent of occupation, refusing to form a government in exile, strip a state of vital protection under international humanitarian law, IHL. Look at all this law. It's about government in exile. Look at all this charter. Look at all this article. Look at all this section. Look at all this protocol. Is for what? One government in exile that issue official redeclaration of a lost nation. Please, I urge you to help us, follow us on TikTok, and also like our program as we are live on TikTok also, please. There's what they call what? IHR, the human rights law that protects you and also the government in exile. It's not about what I think, how I feel, what I want. No, it is about the legal process. And on that legal process is where the mandate of USB, the Redeclared, stand for. I said what? On this legal protocol is where USB stand for. That is why we want you to understand. That is why I said that our DPM, the chief of staff, by the name Dr. Ngozi Orabeze, is legal. Why all these groups are illegality? This is how we have met the criteria. This is how we are going to achieve our lost country. Hey, you declare sovereignty, you are in exile. Look at it here now. You that is organization, which one that back you up? Please, those on the YouTube, in case you want to join us as we're rounding up, you may join us. And anyone who wants to join us for TikTok, you also do that.
A. Common Article 2. Application to occupation. Norm. The Geneva Conventions apply to all cases of partial or total occupation of the territory of a high contracting party.
Are you hearing it? Do you hear this particular place, high contract part of it? Norm. The Geneva Convention apply to all cases of all total occupation of a territory. Illegal when you have issued official redeclaration of a lost country. When you have issued what? Official redeclaration of a lost country. This is what we have been missing. And this is what the world is waiting for us to do so we can be able to achieve our lost nation. And we are on it right now. I said what? We are on this legal path right now. That is why USB is functioning. That is why we are talking and being happy all over the country. Because of what? We have met the criteria. And we have come back to, we have removed ourselves from the stupidity of ignorance of law, of how to restore this lost nation. The Christian nation that we lost, that is going to save every Christian down in Nigeria. We're going to protect them the same way America is protecting all the Christians. And we are going to be a close ally, a good ally to American Israel and to all the Christian countries, Brazil, Morocco, Argentina, name all of you. And I'm asking, why are you keeping silent? Why are you keeping silent? And you allow your own to be slaughtered and massacred and being buried every blessed day. A common Article 2 application to occupation. Norms. The Geneva Convention apply the cases of wars. Of any territory that has been occupied, you must put application through a peaceful redeclaration, not application from the protest and organization. Now the impact.
Impact. To maintain that a territory is under illegal occupatio bellica, temporary military occupation, rather than lawful annexation or conquest, a competing sovereign authority must exist to claim title over the land.
Are you hearing it? We must prove that the impact of government in exile to maintain that the territory is under illegal occupation of bellical temporary military occupation. That is proving that today our territory in the Biafran map, in the Biafran land of Old Eastern region or Southeast, everywhere is military checking point. All these things are pure evidence to the world. All these are pure evidence that the Nigerian government has militarized our territory, and we need to show the videos and the document to prove what we're saying, because the world believe in evidence. The world believe in what? In evidence, not hearsay, not how they feel, not what you think and what you know, what you don't know. It is about the legal right of it. It is about the legal right. It is about how every other nation becomes a country. That is where we are. That's what we are going to do as we are piloting the movement to USB Redeclared, which is by government in exile, which is what they said, that this is the only legal way to restore a lost nation. So I don't know what else we are still waiting for. Are you still on the ignorance of the law? That is called stupidity. Rather than lawful annexation of conquest, a completely sovereign authority must exist to claim title over their land. That is where we have come to exist. You see how we have come to exist? Because of through this government in exile with all the backup laws. It's not about what I think. Oh, Biafra, why are you talking about Biafra? It's not going to come. That is your ignorance of the land, stupidity. But under the law, Biafra has already come, already become a nation. After our redeclaration in Helsinki, Latin Finland, November 29, 2024, by the Chief of Staff of United States of Biafra government in exile. B. Let's go to B.
Third Geneva Convention, GPW, Article 4, A3.
Are you hearing it? Third Geneva Convention, GPW, Article 4, A3 in brackets. A3 in what in brackets? This is what we want us to do. Listen, under the norms, listen.
Form. Protects members of regular armed forces who profess allegiance to a government or an authority not recognized by the detaining power. Impact.
Are you hearing it? Once a government in exile maintain all this law, GPW, non-protest norms, protect members of the regular armed forces. Once, that is why the USB trained the military of Biafra under IHL. This IHL, if you understand what that place means and that's what the law stands for, if Nigeria arrests anybody who is USB elite squad military today, they have committed a crime on international law, because the law back them up that they have the power, the right to protect their territory. They have the power, they have the right to do what? To protect their own territory. Now, a government or an authority not recognized by the detained power. Now I had it here that when they was being arrested, and that they have never been recognized by under international law, that the detained power is given a sound warning to release the military of a government in exile through the legal process. The impact.
This clause explicitly protects resistance forces fighting on behalf of a government in exile. If the leadership refuses to organize a government,
this law protects the military that are fighting on behalf of a government in exile, not ESN, not local vigilante. And for you to be a nation, you must present police and military, not ESN. No. That is all is called transition to the right of the international level.
In exile, armed resistance members risk being classified as unlawful combatants or bandits under domestic criminal law, rather than lawful belligerents entitled to prisoner of war, POW status.
Are you hearing it? The status has changed because of what? Because of there is a government in exile. Remember that this is the third Geneva Convention, GPW, Article 2A in bracket 3. As on your phone, it's not about me. I am only presenting you the legal part of that surrenders this movement, that once you accepted, like Bishop Onaga, Faith Media, that you are a citizen of United States of Biafra, the law has backed you up. You are not just there. You are not just organization, but you are already a sovereign nation that are in waiting for recognition to become a full nation. The class of exile protects residents from fighting on behalf of a government in exile. If the leadership refuses to organize a government in exile, armed resistance membership is being classified as unlawful combatants. See, now this is on the side of those who claim they are ESN. If you are not working with the government in exile of USB, no law for you. You are risking yourself and your life. If the government catches you, there's nothing anybody can do. Even when you are inside bush, claiming you are ESN and you are claiming Netanyahu, Donald Trump, you are wasting your time because they are not going to come. Because of what? You are under illegality. You are not working with the government in exile that officially issued declaration that proves external and the legal path, how every other nation achieved their own. It is about the reality. The legal part is quite different from what you think. I must tell you the truth. This truth might sound strange and bitter to you. But I just want you to understand that it's only through US Redeclared is how we survive and get our own nation. So if you are claiming that you are ESN, I'm sorry for you. You are a lawful combatant or a bandit under international domestic law, rather than lawful entity to prisoner of war. When you on your own and claiming that in your ESN, if they catch you on your own, the law of POW status is not for you. But when you are on the government in exile that issue a peaceful declaration, trying to work with the government in exile, then anything happens to you, this law will be implemented to you. Article 4A in bracket 3.
Status. Synthesis. Legal personality versus legal agency. International legal instrument.
Now
Key provision affected. Result of refusing to form a government in exile. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Art 1D. Capacity to enter relations. Eradicates operational legal agency. Defaults recognition to occupying forces. UN Charter, 1945. Art 2.1. Art 2.4. Art 51. Inability to request collective self-defense or lodge formal ICJ-UNSC claims. Vienna Convention, 1961. Art 2 and Art 39. Diplomatic representation.
Are you hearing it?
Loss of embassy
this
protection
is for all government
and
in
forfeiture
exile,
of overseas
not
sovereign assets. Vienna Convention, 1969. Art 7. Full powers requirement. Extinction of treaty-making power. No valid organ can bind the state. Geneva Conventions, 1949. Common Art 2 and 3rd Convention Art 4A3. Resistance fighters lose POW status. Territory risks prescriptive annexation. Summary conclusion. Refusing to form a government in exile does not destroy a state's theoretical de jure existence immediately, but it destroys its procedural capacity to act, Handlungsfähigkeit. In public international law, an unexercised legal capacity combined with an absent representative authority inevitably leads to the tacit forfeiture of state rights, asset seizure, and eventual extinction of statehood by default.
Is it clear to you today? If you are still in IPOB, if you are still claiming Brig, BGC, CRC, PUK, and all of you, Omajan, Omundibo, Omoezelu, if you are claiming all these things, that is the stupidity of ignorance. Look at the only legitimate government you have is government in exile. Look at all this law. Look at all the law that backs this government up. US is not your mate, so legal is not your mate. Legal is different from illegality. That is why I'm here to tell you that you must desist from your rubbish shenanigan, or you face the wrath of the law of you already declared under our constitution. Look at all this law. Legal personality versus legal way of government in exile. International law instrument, key provision affected. Result of refusing to form government in exile. The gain or the benefit of forming government in exile on the basis of the Montevideo Convention 33, Article 1D, capacity to enter relation through old government in exile. Refuse to form government in exile when you refuse it. Operating illegal movement. No recognition. The occupation must continue. In IPOB, Nigeria must continue to occupy our territory. In Brig, the same thing. It's only USB. Remember that this is what? Montevideo Convention of 1933, Article 1D. Type it on your phone and answer the question. You can find the answer there. So you can stop your madness if you may like to stop it. Without a government in exile, look at it. Result of refusing to form government in exile, the result. No international community to talk about you. No recognition. You remain under the words, under occupying force. In the IPOB, they protest. In a 1 million men march. Where in this world has 1 million men march give people their country? Mazakani is in prison, so is writing. All those things are garbage. All those things you know results. All those things is know how to achieve a lost country. The only way is to achieve a lost country is what? By a government in exile that issue official declaration and prove a government structure that can sign treaty and agreements and get into relation with other countries. Please, if you're watching us from TikTok, I want you to like the program and also share it, please. If you're on YouTube, please like and share, please. Now, we finished Montevideo Convention, and you see the risk of not forming government in exile. You will remain under occupation by force. Now, we go to UN Charter 95, UN Charter 95, Article 2 in bracket 1, Article 2 in bracket 4, Article 55. Now, this is the benefit that guides the rules that support and guide the government in exile, issue a government in exile that issued a peaceful declaration. Now, for those who refuse to, like in the IPOB, inability to request a consultative self-determination of loading from ICJ, UNSC claims, you are excluded. The law is against you. They said what? The law is against you when you refuse to form government in exile. You have no right, no legal backup. But the government in exile have UN Charter 1945, Article 1 in bracket 2, Article 2 in bracket 4, Article 51. This for government in exile. Why you, with your organizations, does not have any legal backup. Now we are going to the see benefit of the legal backup of the government in exile. Now we go to Vienna Convention of 1961, Article 2 and Article 39, diplomatic representation. When you form government in exile, you can go into a diplomatic world representation of the every indigenous people. Mommy Doreen, I see Madam Ojugo, thank you so much. Linus, my brother, I see you, thank you. Frank Ibe, I see you, thank you. Don't know, this should be Frank Okoye. I don't know what that is in, but this is Frank Ibe, what I'm seeing here. Now, remember the Vienna Convention, this is number 3, and then this is number 2. Sorry, number what? This is number 3 of this law. Now we have gone to Montevideo Convention, UN Charter, and the Vienna Convention. Okay, that is number 3. The Geneva Convention is number 4. All this protocol law is for only a lost nation, not any other one. And the government in exile, that issue of official declaration of this lost country that has all this law. Do you had anyone on the side of organization? The stupidity of IPOB has led them to ignorance and is not an excuse in the eyes of the law. It's only USB is the legal. That is why I told you that, see, United States of Biafra declared by Chief of Staff, Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, the DPM, the only legal way for organization of USB as a nation. It's not by what you think and how you feel. It is about the right thing to be done, whether I like it or not. So on that process, on this, we continue. Now we are going to what? The seal on the Vienna Convention of 1969. You have the Vienna Convention that protects government in exile on 1961. You also have the Vienna Convention 1969, Article 7, full power of requirement of government in exile to achieve recognition through after the peaceful declaration and all the documents to do what? To receive all diplomatic alliance and all recognition. It's not about what anybody thinks. It's about the right of the government of USB and what we have to do to have Biafra as a nation is what we are doing right now. Is what we have to do to get Biafra as a nation. It's very different from protest and agitation because it's all about legal means of it. It's the only way to achieve it. It's all about the legal process, the existing protocol, the law that guides the government in exile. Now we are going to what? Geneva Convention, the benefit of government in exile and the backup law. The Geneva Convention 1949. Common Article 2, third section, Article 4A in brackets. For government in exile, that official declaration on any military that is working under USB, they are being covered by the law of humanitarian under IHL and the Geneva Convention as a military of a nation. For the so-called organization, none. Summary. Refusing to form a government in exile does not destroy a state treaty de jure existence immediately, but it destroys its produce capacity to act as a nation. What is the difference? When you do not form government in exile, you are destroying yourself. You are not destroying the territory that lost the war, because once any group or any citizens form government in exile, they have maintained the status quo of international law. That is where USB is. That is what about to be outmouth all of you and transition to the modern day world, how to restore this lost country. That's why he said that the road to achieve Biafra is the open. Look at all this law. And we have been here for over 10 years and we still here today. That is the question. If we have been on this leg up for over 10 years, are you still think that by now we are going to be under Nigeria? I'm sorry for you, because you refuse to learn, you refuse to listen, you refuse to follow the existing protocol and all the laws that govern whatever we are doing. In public national law, an exercise legal capacity combined with an absence of representing authority, inevitable leader to the treaties, fortunate functions or sites and state rights are sent, exercise, and eventually execute of a statehood, the being difficult for any organization. But the government in exile is the only legal way to achieve a lost nation. Please, if there is link there, in case you want to join us, you may. Because of my time, I'm going to go more than earlier do. I normally go every other day because of my time of work today. So please, I urge you to, if you want to join, you have this time as I'm repeating the audio again. So you may listen from the beginning. What we are discussing here, we are discussing how to get our lost nation, the Republic of Biafra, back. How to restore it as a full nation. That is what we are learning.
To establish how refusing to form a government in exile paralyzes and forfeits a state's capacity to act, Handlungsfähigkeit, we must ground the premise across the core instruments of international law, the Montevideo Convention, the UN Charter, the Vienna Conventions, and the Geneva Conventions. While statehood itself relies on the legal presumption of continuity, a state cannot express its sovereign legal will on the international plane without an authorized governing organ. Refusing to constitute a government in exile turns a temporary loss of physical territory into an irreversible loss of...
I don't know if Chioma is still around on TikTok. In case you want to join us, you can send us then we can be able to bring you in. Or Wednesday, those who want to join us, you can, because we are rounding up.
Legal agency. 1. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Destruction of the operational criterion. The Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States sets out the classic 4 criteria for statehood. 1. Permanent population. 2. Defined territory. 3. Government. 4. Capacity to enter into relations with other states. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Criterion number 3. Government. Criterion number 4. Capacity. Preserve de jure during occupation. Requires active executive agency. Refusal to form exiled government v. Paralysis of legal capacity. No organ exists to enter binding relations. The legal breakdown. Article 1D and capacity to act. Under international law, a state's capacity to enter into relations is not just a passive status. It requires an active, competent authority capable of issuing full powers, plenipotentiary status. Fictional versus abandoned organs. When a state's territory is occupied, international law creates a legal fiction allowing criterion number 3, government, and criterion number 4, capacity, to survive abroad as a government in exile. The violation/blunder, refusing or failing to organize an exiled authority, abandons the legal fiction. Without a designated government in exile, the state retains an abstract legal personality, de jure statehood, but it completely loses its procedural capacity to act, de facto agency. 2. UN Charter. Deprivation of sovereign standing and self-defense. The Charter of the United Nations regulates state sovereignty, self-defense, and representation before global bodies. Refusing to form a government in exile directly undermines a state's protections under several key articles. A. Article 2.1. Sovereign equality of members. Norm. The UN is based on the principle of the sovereign equality of all its members. Impact. Sovereignty must be asserted by a recognized entity. Without a government in exile to sit in international forums, the state's seat at the UN becomes vacant or falls to credential challenges. Rule 27 to 29 of the UNGA Rules of Procedure. B. Article 2.4. Prohibition of the threat or use of force. Norm. Members shall refrain from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. Impact. While Article 2.4 protects the occupied state, who lodges the formal protest against the aggressor? If the ousted leadership refuses to form a government in exile, there is no official body to invoke Article 2.4 breaches before the UN Security Council, UNSC, or the International Court of Justice, ICJ. C. Article 51, the right of individual or collective self-defense. Norm. Nothing in the Charter impairs the inherent right of individual or collective self-defense if an armed attack occurs. Impact. Exercising collective self-defense requires a formal request for assistance from the legitimate sovereign government of the victim state. If no government in exile exists, third-party ally states lack the legal invitation needed to lawfully intervene, rendering Article 51 functionally dead. 3. Vienna Conventions. Loss of treaty power and diplomatic agency. The Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties, VCLT 1969, and the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, VCDR 1961, regulate how states express their legally binding consent and maintain diplomatic links. Vienna Conventions, 1961-69. VCLT 1969. Treaty making, VCDR 1961. Diplomatic agency. Art 7, full powers required. Art 2, mutual consent preserved. Art 6, capacity to conclude treaties. Art 39, continuation of immunities. Type. Refusal to form exiled government v. Extinction of treaty and diplomatic power. No representative possesses full powers. Embassies lose status and protection. AVCLT, 1969. Inability to express consent. Article 6. Capacity of states to conclude treaties. Every state possesses capacity to conclude treaties. Article 7. Full powers. A person represents a state for adopting or authenticating a treaty text only if they produce full powers, or if it appears from practice that they hold ex officio authority, head of state, head of government, minister for foreign affairs. The impact. If exiled leaders refuse to constitute a government in exile, no person on earth holds full powers for that state. The state's capacity to sign treaties, modify alliances, or join international conventions is frozen. BVCDR, 1961. Extinction of diplomatic immunity and mission control. Article 2 and Article 39. Diplomatic relations and embassy functions rely on continuous sovereign representation. The impact. Without a recognized government in exile to accredit ambassadors and consular staff, foreign host states must close embassies or declare personnel persona non grata. Crucially, sovereign diplomatic property, embassies, archives, risks being handed over to the de facto occupying regime. 4. Geneva Conventions, 1949. Loss of protection under IHL. The Geneva Conventions of 1949 and Additional Protocol 1, 1977, govern the law of armed conflict, jus in bello, and belligerent occupation. Refusing to form a government in exile strips a state of vital protections under international humanitarian law, IHL. A. Common Article 2. Application to occupation. Norm. The Geneva Conventions apply to all cases of partial or total occupation of the territory of a high contracting party. Impact. To maintain that a territory is under illegal occupatio bellica, temporary military occupation, rather than lawful annexation or conquest, a competing sovereign authority must exist to claim title over the land. B. 3rd Geneva Convention, GPW, Article 4, A3. Norm. Protects members of regular armed forces who profess allegiance to a government or an authority not recognized by the detaining power. Impact. This clause explicitly protects resistance forces fighting on behalf of a government in exile. If the leadership refuses to organize a government in exile, armed resistance members risk being classified as unlawful combatants or bandits under domestic criminal law, rather than lawful belligerents entitled to prisoner of war, POW status. Synthesis. Legal personality versus legal agency. International legal instrument. Key provision affected. Result of refusing to form a government in exile, Montevideo Convention, 1933. Art 1D. Capacity to enter relations. Eradicates operational legal agency, defaults recognition to occupying forces. UN Charter, 1945. Art 2.1, Art 2.4, Art 51. Inability to request collective self-defense or lodge formal ICJ-UNSC claims. Vienna Convention, 1961. Art 2 and Art 39. Diplomatic representation. Loss of embassy protections and forfeiture of overseas sovereign assets. Vienna Convention, 1969. Art 7. Full powers requirement. Extinction of treaty-making power. No valid organ can bind the state. Geneva Conventions, 1949. Common Art 2 and 3rd Convention Art 4A3. Resistance fighters lose POW status. Territory risks prescriptive annexation. Summary conclusion. Refusing to form a government in exile does not destroy a state's theoretical de jure existence immediately, but it destroys its procedural capacity to act, Handlungsfähigkeit. In public international law, an unexercised legal capacity combined with an absent representative authority inevitably leads to the tacit forfeiture of state rights, asset seizure, and eventual extinction of statehood by default.
Yeah, Maz, good evening from here. It's been a while. You're welcome today to the program. Please, if you're close to your mic, you may have the mic. Thank you so much.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much, my brother. Biafra TV. It's true. Yeah, it's been a word. I'm not in town anyway. I'm not in town.
Yeah, I see a message always after the program.
Yes, I watch from behind. I watch from behind due to where we went for outside work, brother. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. My people at the comment section, I greet each and every one of you for being there always. For being there always. It's not easy because our leader Nakara have already made it clear to us. If you know what will bring Biafra, go and be doing it. All these people fighting those that is doing something. You really understand that those people, they don't want the freedom. That's why our PM says those people that is not doing anything, they will always fight those that is doing something. And it is quite clear to us. Yeah, on your readings today is another mind blowing anyway. You see, it makes me to remember what happened during the time of our PM and the so-called IPOB DOS Nigeria. You know, at point in time, there was a stage when Nigerian, no, both Nigerian government and Nigerian media, they are now, acknowledging IPOB DOS Nigeria, saying that they are the people they know that is fighting for freedom. Someone is not. Someone is not a member of IPOB. He's not fighting for freedom. When your enemy will be telling you who is fighting against and who is not fighting, what does that tell you, my people? Nigeria and their government with their media, they are now backlashing on our PM that he is not a member of IPOB. So he is causing violence in IPOB. So even the IPOB have come out to say that they don't know who he is. This thing you just read now today took my mind back to that place when they were saying that thing. To say that Benjamin Madubugu, after one of the Walida Madnanikano court case, he was there shouting, "Why will Simon Ekpa will go and create government in SI? Who asked him to create government in SI? We don't want it." Only that alone will tell you that these people are not here for the freedom. They are just there for political pressure, making their money. That's why they resulted in fighting the person that have already taken the bull by the horn, going the rightful direction, pushing the needful. If IPOB or that of Wazirike are the rightful source, what makes the international community are not raising alarm? Prior to that period, they were killing our people, massacring us like a chicken. Despite they will be calling Trump at the first turn of Trump. Trump will come, Netanyahu will come, nobody responded. They will never make mention of Nigeria. They won't even talk of Nigeria because it is an internal affair. And the reason why they have to respect that internal affair is because they signed it. All of them are in it. They are a signatory to UN that you have to respect the territorial integrity of each other. That's why they never said anything. And our people are busy writing a petition against Nigeria to UN, against Nigeria to European country, European Parliament. What you are writing, they already have what it takes. The template is in the open for you to go and read. Wait, if you are in a classroom, you enter school maybe from JS1, you are looking forward to graduate through SS3 according to the zoo system. The past question you will be reading when you entered will be the past question of those that passed through that same route that you are about to pass. That is the past question you will read and follow their route. Even get more knowledge, make it more advanced, and pass your paper. Then what makes you think that you will get into a new class? Then the things they say you will do, you will not do it. The past questions, you will not read it. Textbooks, you will not do it. Assignment, you will not do it. Test, you will not write, and you expect to pass the exam. Or by next term, you think that you'll be going into a new class. Is it possible? You go nowhere. You remain where you are. That's exactly what these guys are doing. This freedom we are talking about, freedom is not a new thing. Many people have undergo the process of freedom. Now, it's Belgium. Belgium was the first country to use and introduce government in exile. And they looked at it. Other people, UN looked at it and said it's a peaceful way and the rightful thing to do. See the funny thing, though. Are we aware that this so-called government in exile has been there when we fought the Pogrom War? It has been in existence before that war. Then Ojukwu ran to Ivory Coast. They said he runs to exile. This exile has been in existence. He runs to exile. But you never knew that standing in exile, going to the exile, you can stay there and organize yourself and form government in exile. From there, you pushed. And I believe it was this kind of people that surrendered our leader, Mazen Nanekano, today, telling him to accept Nigeria, telling him to accept our internal leader, Ojukwu, to come back and apologize to Zoo. Come back and apologize. Everything will be fine. Just there is nothing there. It has happened. It has happened. Come back to apologize. Let's continue. That was why Ojukwu came back. Nobody guided him. Nobody, is there, in fact, none of our people that stood up and say, this man that ran to exile, there is another way to get this from the exile. Nobody did that. They convinced him and brought him back to Zoo. And they tell him, if you want to do it, you have to, create a political party. From there, you do it. From there, Ojukwu create an APGA. Imagine Ojukwu couldn't even win his community. He couldn't even win his community election. Give him not here, all we have to. The same thing now, they are still telling us. When you hear all these criminals in the Zoo politics, they will tell you this way. You are doing you are doing it another way. You have to form a government, a political party, bring it to Nigeria. Then you bring out a person, the person will vote the person in. The person will go to the house and they raise a motion and people will support it. Then we'll go. Who says so? Coming to voting election, that one is part of it, yes, but it has a different route. We have noticed that going to the house will not even give us what we want, because how many are you in the house? Is it not majority carry the vote? When the people say hi, when the kids say he, we see hi, he, ha, kaboya, only go there. And you are thinking of that one. There is another route for that same freedom to be actualized, and we have followed it. Our PM has followed it. And that is why we are where we are today. Thank God. I keep thanking God till tomorrow for our DPM to redeclare before that time. And that redeclaration is the reason why people are talking today. Countries are talking today, because we have given we've given them the right to talk. Because when you write an exam, as a teacher, after writing the exam, you expect your student to bring your paper to you. You mark, you as a teacher that gave them the exam, you have to mark their exams and give them their score. If you don't give me, and if I give you exam, you never wrote anything in your paper, or you never even come to the class to write the exam, how do I give you any mark? How do I promote you? I can't. That means you don't know what you are here for. The world has given us an exam where the way to get what we are looking for, and today we have gotten it. And you still you still see some people talking rubbish. My sister, my sister, Madam Origin, say, Hannah, you really do anyhow. These are people. Still leave them. In the next century, they don't even know the road for this our freedom. and they will never knew. But at this stage, the stage we are today, if not for anything, Biafra that returned in the world map is a clear message for those people that feel that they don't know anything. What makes USB to appear? The map is no longer bearing Republic of Biafra. This one is United States of Biafra. Which country did we redeclare? And the reason why we make mention of redeclare is because Ojukwu has declared before. They told you if you are fighting for a freedom, be it faith country or the new one, you have to declare or redeclare as a fake country. Now you see those that call themselves PCC, GPC, EFCC, they are going to Capitol Hill for recognition. Which are they talking about? The people that say that the Biafra have not been redeclared, that the one Ngozi declared is Ngozi on. How prona Ngozi on? Kaji Agawa. Oh, by Alaga, we are going home. Ghana men Nkunu. My happiness is that it doesn't matter what they do. Wherever they go, if they like, let them redeclare 10 times. One day, onye mbuzo. When we have buzo, I say okumbuza la leligwe. One day, USB Kambuzo. Thank you so much. I appreciate our DPM for being there for us and all the genuine cabinet members that have been assisting in pushing for we to get to where we are today. And I also extend my greeting to our PM, wherever he is. We know that he knew that which they seek, we have gotten it. Also, our leader, Mazinan Kano, may the Chukwu Okabiama continue to protect and strengthen them as we await for the mind blow recognition on a rule and more. Oboroge, oye, nuputani here. Also, thank you so much, my brother, Biafra TV.
Thank you so much, Repe. We miss you all these days. Thank you so much for coming back. Welcome back. We really miss you here. Thank you so much. Then all you said is how it is. There is only one. The only reason why the government is try to remove Simon Eba is not to put us on this legal path. But little they don't know that Chukwu Okam has proposed that it's going to Bingozo Arabez on 29th of November. That is why the government has come a very big late. So on that note, I want to welcome one of the grandfather and the founding father, those who stood up to sign their signature that what we want is United of Biafra as our own nation by the name Odogwu Enugu. Thank you so much for coming as we are rounding up for the program of today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Biafra TV. The reason for the season. I've said yesterday and all the time that I don't come to contribute anything because I don't know. So my coming in is because of my amiable comrade, Triple M, because I saw and I heard his bro.
Your network is very bad. We can't hear you. Although when we're there, the network is very bad.
I greet you so much, my living legend. You surround this single yana, but we don't drink one name mother. No idea be no kind we can under here. Kuganiru.
So what is there is very simple. It's only that our people refuse to. Nigeria does not have a law, so we never valued law. And for us to try to understand what happened to us through history, they quickly remove history from school. As Nigeria remove history from school, because when you know history send you to law. It will start asking you are right. That is why the government remove history from school, so we will not know what it is. The history of rearresting Simon Ekpa is to stop legal part of the declaration of our lost nation. That is the why they removed him. Odogu, you're welcome back. Thank you. So have the mic.
Yeah, thank you very much. Biafra TV, I want to talk to my amiable brother and comrade, Triple M. We miss him so much.
Yeah,
And
go on.
he have to apologize. So I want you to just take time, let him educate me. Triple M, I want you to answer me a question by educating me and educating all Biafrans. Before now, or did Ojukwu know about this right or this way of in exile before now? Or Nnamdi Kanu, did he know about the Biafran government in exile? Because I know as of 2015 or 2000 to 2009,
Oh, Maazị Odogwenugwu netwọk gị dịkwa ka ebe ị nọ mma chacha. Even ebe anyị jere ọrụ nke m adịrọ mma, ama m ebe m tinyere foonu m a wee na-eme ihe a kịta. I'm telling you, nwa eji m earphone na ntị, mwepụ foonu m ebe ahụ na netwọk apụ. Anyway,
go on.
Maazị Odogwenugwu, yeah, anụrụ m onye kwuru, my legend, my hero, the hero of our time, the people, you are among those that, you know, accepted and make us to still be here today and be preaching about our freedom. Yeah, for your question, no two words about it. I must tell you that our internal leader doesn't know about government in exile. Likewise, our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu doesn't know about it. But he brought someone that knows something about it. On that note, the people that surrounded our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu now saw that person as a parasite because he came to end their business. Thank you. I don't know if I've answered that particular one. Are you back?
Yes, I'm back. I heard what you answered, but I don't know if you get my question. Why?
Okay, go.
Why did Ojukwu not, if you know, or if Nnamdi Kanu knew before now? Because myself, before now, or you yourself, do you know by now that is what we need to do? Can you
honestly speaking, honestly speaking, my brother Odogwenugwu, you and I know that we don't know that that is the rightful way. Even we have been hearing exile government, but we never knew that it is even in international law. We don't get hold of it, that it is in international law. If you want to get a new country, you must embark on journey of exile. And our leader Mazen Kanu, had he been, he knew that there is something like, because he has been in exile all this while. When he came back to unveil himself and make the Nigerian people to know that he is back, was in 2015, and they rushed him, which he said in 2020, he said in 2012 that he usually comes to Nigeria and go, that they will not get him. Time is coming when he will come back to Nigeria, and then he will make himself available, and the Nigerian will surely arrest him, and which is what happened. The time he was waiting was for the amalgamation of 1914 to end in 2014, to show that Nigeria has expired. That was why he came back on 2015 and making himself open for that shenanigan to happen, for the journey to start. He doesn't know about government in exile, and if at all he knew, he wouldn't have even taken of coming to do that particular stuff. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your education, and thank you, Biafra TV, for this lecture and this enlightenment. Just like I thought Triple M was blaming Ojukwu for not staying outside or in exile. But the reason why I ask my question is some of us that doesn't know like me, coming down to undermine the United States of Biafra declaration and the right way we are doing it now legally. Telling me about all other groups that are talking about Biafra and saying that we should do this or do that. Those people or those groups have nothing to disturb or nothing to do with the United States of Biafra. If we declared our nation, any other group that come up doesn't mean anything to us. We need to fight it, or we need to wage war with it. We only need to be educated, as our Biafra TV is educating me. Actually, I went to Finland to make sure that I get that Biafra, but I don't know that it's going to take all these processes to recognize that Biafra, honestly. But my intention, I said, if instead of me not to sign or not to go and declare this Biafra, let me die. That's why I prepared. I prepared to die in Finland for this declaration not to happen. I prepared. So other COS, other DOS or BRG or CNC coming out to undermine me, coming against it is coming against Simon Ekpa, or coming against IPOB, is coming against Nnamdi Kanu. Am I going to take Nnamdi Kanu to court? Am I going to take Simon Ekpa to court? Because BRGI is instituted by Simon Ekpa. So if I'm suing BRGI or CNC or this, I am suing Simon Ekpa. So United States of Biafra, which I have declared, cannot sue anybody to court. If I sue IPOB to court, that means I'm suing Nnamdi Kanu, because Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of indigenous people of Biafra. So many of us trying to be politically correct, or how do I say it, or speaking what is a man, or blaming Ojukwu, or blaming Nnamdi Kanu. No. They did a very wonderful job. They're the people that put the light in me, that ignited and they motivate me. So that's why I want Triple M to educate me more, which he have done justifically, in truth. So I want to thank you. Biafrans are getting enlightened. We should not be blaming ourselves or blaming anybody. We don't know. We are ignorant. I think Biafra said it last 2 days or that. We are ignorant. We are ignorant. Now we know we need to be working for the recognition of that Biafra. And what it takes is just to support the United States of Biafran cabinet being led by Her Excellency Dr. Ngozi Arabeze and her cabinet. Then we Biafrans, as they are working, putting the necessary documents as it's supposed to, which we are seeing the results, as of yesterday. Dr. Konjo Iweala have recognized the documentation, and many people have done so, including Israel as a country. Then we Biafrans, as we are talking here, we will be sharing and supporting the government. Then thirdly, we have to protect our land, not only wait for the United States of Biafra. Instead of looking who to sue to court or who to quarrel with to do saga or propaganda, we are past that stage. We are now a government. All of us here, I can't see many people. We are now a government. Both people in the government, in this comment section, and many people who are listening without being in the comment section, contributing by sharing, by telling our people now the ID, what do you call it?
Certificate.
Eh?
The certificate
Certificate by birth that your Biafra is out. Let us, as we register for, as we voted, let us also do it in Biafra land. That is protection. Immediately about maybe 20 million Biafran have that certification. That's a go. That's a go for zoo. So it will just represent as 50 million voters to exist Nigeria. So now about 30 million, 20 million have registered that they are Biafrans. It's a cake cruise. Our recognition is coming very soon, and all of us are going to be free. Then when we are free, we have our constitution. All those groups that are messing up now, I support our Real Biafran TV. We do what the Ghana did. Can you remind us what Ghana did?
Ghana built a court of no appeal.
Court of no appeal. Odogwu
And
Enugu are supporting.
Court of no mercy to
Court of
any
no mercy. Odogwu Enugu, I am endorsing it today. I'm endorsing it in the presence of the whole Biafrans. So let us reserve our fight. Let us reserve our grievances. Let us reserve our revenge until then. Court of no appeal. All of them we have. For now, we cannot do anything. We are still in exile. The United States of Biafra is still in exile.
We are in exile like when Belgium was in exile for 45 years.
Also Belgium. I had it. Also Belgium.
When Poland was in exile for 30 years. We are in exile when France was in exile in London for 28 years. We are in exile when Czechoslovakia was in exile for 51 good years. Then down to Africa, Namibia was in exile for 30 years, 3 decades. Then Algeria was in exile for 40 years, 4 decades. Ethiopia was in exile for 51 years, 5 decades, and that is where we are. But today, all of them are a country where people want to live today. That is where we are. We are proud to be in exile.
Thank you very much. Announcement. On Friday, there is question and answer to
tomorrow, there is question and answer here tomorrow.
Yeah, question and answer to our Secretary of Homeland and the gas. I can't remember.
Yes.
So
yes,
everybody should come ask your question. But as of now, we are United States of Biafra in exile, waiting for recognition. Then justice will take its course. For now, thank you very much. A duty cause. Appreciate you all.
Thank you. Let us go to Ike Jesus. Obi-Wan, please allow Ike Jesus, because of his coming all the way from homeland. Let's give him the privilege to talk first before Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, please, can you permit me to give him the mic?
No problem.
Continue.
Okay. Obi-Wan, have your mic back. He's busy. Have your mic.
Okay, good evening, everybody, and I greet Odogwu Enugu, Triple M, Mazutino, and the last person you called now, Ike Jesus. Yeah. Anyway, I actually came in. I don't really have much to say, but I will say that based on Ihe Odogwu Enugu about Maojuku, I'm about government in exile. You know, when you see all these kind of things coming up, or people initiating this, that's when you know that that's when you know that the right people are actually in position. And the reason why we say let us support USB is because of how they do things. Even I got some certain people in a homeland, in a control homeland. How did you say that you are a nation? But you have to start from somewhere. Government in exile, I think it simply means being in exile while you put structures in preparation of you going home. Because you check here, Briggy, when all of us were in there in the Briggy, it was there that the all preparation of going to Finland was made. The constitution, the referendum, all of these things were prepared putting structures and the 40 states of Biafra, and even the initiation of the money, Eje and Ejema, and creating of all secretaries and departments and all of these things. I don't think that could have been possible if we were all in Nigeria, if we were in homeland, because there will always be someone that will be disrupting it. So Juku's time was actually different from this time that we are in. It was Juku's time is where they have no option than to actually break out, no matter whatever that it takes. And if Nnamdi Kanu was given the opportunity to stay up on this moment, Nnamdi Kanu will still get to the point when he will still start forming government in exile as well. Because he cannot be in Faruku and start coordinating things. Then otherwise there will always be a disruption. And now, as for the fact that USB is putting all of these things in place, that is when countries can be able to listen to what you are saying. Somebody was saying the other day, why do you think that Israel is actually trying to listen to Russia? It's because you can't be shouting that you need Biafra when they look into you and you are empty. The same reason we are telling the IPOB organization of what is it that you guys already put in ground. When you are talking about we want Biafra, let us come and support DOS and this and that. But inside you have no strong structures. There's nothing. Everything is empty inside. You are not putting anything on ground to show that if the international community today comes out and say, okay, what do you want? Let's give you people this. And then where are you going to start? Which money will you use to start trading first? In who is going to be the governor or the mayor or the secretaries of all? Which map? Which map do you know? As IPOB and DOS is now, they haven't actually created the Biafra map for themselves. Let's say as if they are serious. So, but as you can see, that's why I have problem with them. Most of them that always want to say, come back and let's join and make peace. Kenen was doing program today. I went in there just to listen, and he was playing a video of Master Prophet gathering Ugo 247 and Chooks Survivor. I think one day was on another place, and they are talking about it's time to come together and have peace. And I keep asking all of them that knows the truth, and yet they keep running around, beating around the bush. You want to go and have and settle in which place? Because they know that now if they really want peace or they want us to be together, they need to come out to the internet and start calling for peace. All they have to do is to place their allegiance to the United States of Biafra. That's all. But formality's sake, when you want to come and say, okay, let's have in MS pet, can I help USB? Let us come and go to DOS and surrender to who? A place where they don't have any structure. They have the time IPOB as an organization function, which is the agitation part of it, has come and gone. Everybody partaked on that. I did partake on that. But things comes in stages. We can't continue agitating until forever. Just like the Amaham Bay in South Africa that telling foreigners to go. One of them already is actually the campaign saying that they cannot keep marching all the time, otherwise the economy will collapse. So that's why we can't keep doing IPOB organization and agitation saying that we want to be a country. Meanwhile, nobody is actually trying or putting any solid thing or putting any. Can you hear me? You can still hear me, right? Chino, can you still hear me?
You can hear loud and clear. Very well.
Okay. So you can be in a place where you are not really prepared for anything in case that you're being called upon to do something and say, okay, now. So when you watch the way USB is behaving, like now mostly every Friday they come out with one department to explain to you what that department is all about, so that you can see how ready that they are. No wonder tomorrow now US, or okay, you can see that the latest development now of rising to Okonji where you are, which is a world trade whatever. You can see how prepared Tony Bonomadi. So yeah, you can see how prepared that they are, you know, and by sending message and for recognition and for people to know that okay, we are actually ready. Tell me what plans is Ogenkere is doing by all him going to Washington for, according to him, for recognition. If let's just assume that the Washington that he's going decided to make sense or to have head, where is he going to start? Who is his governors? Who is his secretaries? Which money is he going to? Is he going to start using everything that happened in our declaration in Finland to support whatever that is? Because I think his own is different. He's talking about Biafra Republic. He's going for recognition of Biafra Republic. Meanwhile, he has not done any referendum to ask people if they really agree on why he decided to go for Biafra Republic. He has not actually selected a map of the country which he decided he want to actually govern. He has not printed any money that Biafra Republic will use, because in our money is written United States of Biafra. But okay, is going for Biafra Republic government. Which money is he going to use? So these are two different kind of people that when they tell you that na ndị a ndị ma ihe a na-akọ na onye a just no yawo because okay has nothing upstairs. He doesn't know anything. Or just no na although we are in a place where people can be able to be contributing small money for him to be enjoying. I can imagine somebody that Van was able to actually somebody being the finance secretary and at the same time being the APM and the PM and at the same time chief of staff. Where does that happen? Nobody that kind of a thing. Yesterday at Car Report, I was telling them, I was like saying, anybody that is advocating for Genkere, is it the kind of leadership that you want? Somebody that you can actually see that the corruption in him is so visible. It's so visible that he's not even hiding it. When they tell you to come and do account of the money in your possession, you bluntly say no, that you will not. How are we going to how are you going to rule us when we want to check amount on our purse? You as a president, you decide no, it will not happen, which means you are trying to build another dictator in Biafra land. That is not the kind of country that we are looking for. Humility should be part of it. We must let you to understand that Biafra belongs to each and every one of us. Whether you are big, you are small, it belongs to every one of us. Everybody has equal right to be able to express themselves. Time space. Because the problem of political space in Nigeria and how they are actually doing this thing here is that now some of them don't want to leave forward because they have no other job to do. they are jobless. And when all those are now, company, are you telling me that you will leave that your company to go and serve people? No, you may not serve the company, but because these people have nothing else to do, that's why they call this struggle as the most important thing in their life. On him struggle as did Madam Ono and let call them and each and every one of them. And when he has a hand makashiri haike, Obu ni ezigbo company na run. Or you were being a raw feed your people. I don't think that this struggle that they are not getting no. Even DPM no one cope. Or that is why OG Kesia or Roeke. And I do question and answer get up to it or direct ego only guys the question. Or they do everything easy because now at the same time I don't as deputy prime minister. Job one as well. And that guy will until the time when these offices will get into salary this thing. But you can see these ones, they are dragging the whole position. Only in case you to or do on I have na being a CLE to no where's this space. So you all get me or bakal Jeff or Mukwa here, Joe Fafa buyer. All guys we see na USB marker project, Jenna Brig. Now I have no get hello there, so we go make go na ego seller. Sell vam now no madam no what for them about for go image decide there to the camp. Pia CRC because so the one mother want where he will be in this an state of affair be good shagafe. Kama vam need can a court as a media and minister of information. From there on, we can know another people at the camp walk from it. But all of these guys are jokes. They are just joking, especially the CRC one again, because no one can carry down no one is stupid anyway. But I'm just saying that to compare both of them, CRC, I don't know where that one actually came into to become something that somebody can be using to be looking for recognition. It's just a joke. CRC was formed because of Ada Diorama. It's just a committee. How does CRC have anything to do with our Biafra struggle? How does it concern this struggle? But somebody was able to use it and stand on the internet and be telling people about donating money for them to find recognition or whatsoever. So in the by, it's time to actually recognize the real people. By their fruit you shall know them. United States of Biafra is doing a lot to the extent that they are not hiding themselves, especially this ID of the homeland people. That will go a very, very, very long way. So let us support. May God bless the United States of Biafra. Thank you.
Thank you. Ike Jesus, are you there to your mic? Ike Jesus, please.
Yeah, quick one. Yeah.
Since out of my time. And
I may not.
Okay.
I may not be up to that 3 minutes because something just come up now. My brother, I want to appreciate you, and my brother just now. I want to appreciate you, but sometimes in this era, and you know now, I need is anybody or to make people to reason. I understand.
Yes.
Because if you try to explain, my brother, you will continue to explain from now to next 20 years. They will not get it to you. Anybody that is serious and anybody that has brain of reason would know that United States of Biafra is the way to get your freedom. Why I say so? Assuming that it is in Nnamdi Kanu is outside, or Samoneta is outside now, submit what our government have submitted in UN, which is UN recognized by telling them, by writing to them, dressing them as United States of Biafra, assuming that it is Nnamdi Kanu and the Simon Ekpa. Should survivor no go carry him, he no go speak for it in his platform. He will talk about it in his platform. We go 247 will not speak for it. He will talk about it in his platform. Then others. If it is Samonepa or Nnamdi Kanu have submitted these documents that have submitted in this place, Professor Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, ebe ọ na-arụ ka ihe a na-akpọ ya, I submit Rubosia, which is recognized and give them receipt. They work about it. These people are criminal. We don't beg anybody. We don't care whatever they're doing. We already come out in this journey. I said in a Kenena platform just about 30 minutes ago or 1 hour ago. I said that people in Europe, America, all this country, apart from Africa, some of these guys and these women, they don't have brain of reason. How can you go to Finland? You say you are following Samonepa. You believe what Samonepa believes. Samonepa fight for get document. And the appointed time for him to get that document, then took him away. And somebody stepped up to make sure that he got that document Samonepa is pursuing. And the woman got the document. Then after she got the document, she changed strategy. She became Sabo. Now, there is a way a primary six person to behave than somebody that they went to secondary school. If you look at them, they will not behave the same way. The same way somebody that he went to secondary school, it will not be the same way that somebody that went to university has tuition will behave. There must be a different attitude and character. So that if they want to address you, they will say, I thought that you say you went to university. Why are you behaving like somebody that did not went to school? They don't reason that. Nah, I stopped in primary 2. But at least I want my brain to think, to reason. My English, but I still have brain to know what is good and what is bad.
Yes, so time up.
So and let me conclude by telling Ugo 247 and Shoe Survivor and what is the name? Master Prophet Onubiralate. If you people want Biafra, as you people are preach, you must talk about United States of Biafra anybody or any media that is not talk about, do not support United States of Biafra, my brother, my sister, you are a fool and criminal. That is what you are. Thank you, my brother. Bye-bye.
Thank you also. Thank you, K. Jesus, for being with us today. I see Mazi, Honorable Teddy, please have the mic before I go to Adwada. Please, 3 minutes out of my time, 3 minutes, because I'm going to work. Thank you so much.
Okay. Homo Biafra, Kelemono. I hail you, Chizo, Chino, rather, UBS research team. I've been listening. I'm not sure I'm hearing you, and what I have to say is, I remember in those days, I mean, a couple of months ago, Alexander Stubb of Finland said something that Mazi Simon Ekpa, our PM, wasn't, taking the struggle legally. We are now on legal steps, and enlightenment and everything, awareness being created by this USB research team has been taken into account. Let's see what will, come and be in the way of Finland looking at it right now. We are all doing the legal means. Here and there. Ocean land and a table of people, the responsible people, and we are making headways. This part and parcel of the legal means, which the research team is equally propagating and supporting and spreading it as wildfire everywhere. You see all the postings and everything, both in X, YouTube, and equally, I think, Facebook. All those things are things worth doing, and we are doing it well. When I came in, I heard about somebody was saying, was it nobody is to blame? Blame our supreme leader, eternal leader rather, and maybe Onyendu, and nobody's. I didn't quite get that because I just jumped in and heard it. There is nothing like blaming our eternal leader in any way, form, or shape. You know why I'm saying this? There's this saying in the military circle that he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. Exactly. When the chiefs, when everything is down, that's why the eternal leader had to give, go and strategize on ways of coming back to continue with this fight. I remember when I was a youth, when they called us in Uguta at Atonzeribe's place. They brought, buses, conveyed us from our local government and sent us to Atonzeribe's house. And they were addressing the youth of our zone, which is Olu State right now. He told us, ihe ahụ mere mbụ ejiri gaa agha na ọ ka na-eme. See that na ndị youth, unu na-ala 3 bottles, 4 bottles of beer. There were 1 bottle of beer for the Biafra. Unu serve where? That's what he told us that time. I was there. And when they addressed us. And that was about the time Aton Zeribe was trying to come out for Senate, running for Senate. So those things are, nobody should blame him. All what he did was strategic. Because if he didn't run away, they wouldn't actually hold him as prisoner of a war prisoner, they would have executed him right away.
Yeah.
It's good he stepped out, come in now, told the youth like us then, this is what is happening. That the thing that happened that made him go to the war, made Biafrans to go to war, is still happening. That's what he told us. Secondly, if you look at all these people that are preaching peace and peace and peace, these are pseudo peace, false peace. Otu onye chọrọ udo si were okwute n'aka na-agakwa n'akụkụ fence mgbala onye ahụ ọ chọrọ n'udo? No, ọ chọrọ igbu ngwere. That's the whole thing. All these people shouting peace and peace and peace, they know the right way to approach this peace. It's not coming up on the internet and be shouting peace. It doesn't make sense. And moreover, if you look at, okay, time, I think
time. Yes.
Okay. Let me just.
Hey, one other do we have to go. Let's give our brother Ekenez also the time, 3 minutes, because of my work. My time is up. So round up, brother. Please round up.
Okay, yeah. If you look at those people preaching about this peace, you find out that all of them, right from they started the thing that caused confusion, like what's it called, 41247. When he started this issue, backing out from the cabinet and so on and so forth, I called him. I sent him a DM, about this thing, talk about, he didn't listen, and he went out to still not retrieving his resignation. He still went on. And because we are from the same state as well, so those people, they knew what they were doing, and eventually they are the people now coming to talk about peace. What kind of peace? If you know how it started there, imbroglio, confusion that happened, go back there and retrace your steps. That's the whole thing. And again, all this saga and everything happening on the media space, we should actually look. Some of them we should ignore, except when it's seriously damaging on the United States of Biafra government. To me, those people are paid agents in one way or the other. They are trying to get their money they want to gain with time. That's what they do. And like somebody said, they are not employed. A good number of them believe this struggle as a source of income, and they go out to maintain it. And okay, let me round up. Maybe next time I'll come early enough so that
tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow is open mic, and bring whatever is in your mind to discuss tomorrow. Someone will start earlier. Tomorrow, yes. That is it. So let's give our brother Ekenez a mic from the way from homeland, so can be able to round up and close. So Mazi Ekenez, please have the mic. Have the mic. Or mute. You can't hear you. Mute your mic. We can't hear you. Or mute your mic. We can't hear you. Okay,
hello?
Go on. Yeah, we can hear you now. 3 minutes, please. What of my time?
I'm able too much. One day can go.
Thank you, my brother.
Oh, I that's all of them. One or two things. Oh, when I drink to help just somebody here, because I bought to play a program here or quite a mic. But somebody like Bobby one can join I just amala or quite a mic. Here I go. So actually, I'm going to help them join us here because all I make a matter that in la Mazi Nandikalo and the Mazi Samalepa. But the Poyala Dr. Gozora Bez. I was can join all I see la all I more for our Finland. So now can procedure and me more or we will have one legal vote. And they governor for a governor of a state. Ebola, all I buy and make a matter say la plus of more than 50 million vote for referendum. So 50 million car the whole Igbo land dead. Then you had remember and kind of nonsense guy they made there. Once coming to go to help on Joan Yasia, most revolt governor, governor of the state, was revolt to governor or governor. Because at times I let people who have at times. Now see, I'm going to let's see some people disrupting in so the team there with them, I'm help from Jordan. Me, I do to more be who the whole want to vote to referendum freedom. Because one now I enjoy by another.
Quickly, Obi-Wan is here. Nobody, many amateur program after his position on my platform, your blog, road, so there's no need to do anything. He's Obi-Wan up on the Biafra movement. Then cow, hero.
In addition, now Okoko said will be one with controversial human being. Join an election on Natona Zoo. President today, Hanona, but right from the origin of Nigeria, and when 20 million as a presidential candidate win, you 20 million votes win, yeah.
God bless.
Even with 200 something million people.
God bless you,
Nigeria today only 10 million. As no she. 200 something million. Then two something are supporting here. Mad people everywhere.
Oh, God bless you. My brother became an umbrella by joy of laugh for. I have a track made the bank, made the bank on where. And my joy, I time.
Thank you. Please, let's leave it here. Tomorrow is our free day. Right, tomorrow is open mic program, which I start earlier. We always go almost 5 or 6 hours tomorrow. So let's keep our mindset. We will come in tomorrow with some videos I will play and our analysis and everything. Tomorrow is our open mic day, so we can be able to talk very well tomorrow. Because of my job, I have to run from now. Obi-Wan, thank you so much. Adobe, you network kick you out. Then UK Jesus, Triple M, thank you. Our senior, our father, Odogwenogu, thank you so much. And brother Teddy, what we are doing is what we have to do. I am fighting for my freedom. I want Biafra as a country, and Biafra I want must go through legal. How every other nation achieve their own. That is where we are. So I thank you all for being here today. Until we come back again tomorrow, please. Thank you once again. Have a nice day from now. Bye.
Bye.